Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What do you gotta say? What do you gotta say for yourself? Why you been lying to me that they're my kids when they're not?
I never.
My son, okay, this is not, my son's life. My son's life is not a game. It's not a game. Every baby comes out light.
We text him, and then a family member called me and was like, "Are you sure you know that's his baby?" And I was like, "No, I'm not sure because I honestly had sex with another man earlier that day."
Earlier than what?
That day, and he knew it. It was on my birthday actually, and we had sex 3 times. When I spent the night at his house.
She's tired of holding everything down alone and wants to prove he's the father. Meanwhile, Mr. Carbajal insists he's not the dad. Says Miss Lopez is ruining his life.
Ms. Lopez, you are here today because you claim the defendant, Mr. Carbajal, allegedly perpetuated a DNA testing scam to try to deny paternity of your kids. You say you're tired of struggling daily to take care of your children alone, and you need to prove he's their biological father today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's rewind a bit. They met through a social network, and things moved fast. After unprotected sex, Miss Lopez found out she was pregnant. But Mr. Carbajal wasn't thrilled. He said he didn't want a baby with someone he didn't even love.
How do we get to the point where you find out you're pregnant and there's a question regarding the paternity?
Your Honor, after I found out I was pregnant, he did not have anything to say. We talked later, and he was still in shock, telling me that he didn't want to have a baby with someone he did not love.
Hold on. So at that time, you told him you're pregnant?
Yes.
Later, Miss Lopez gave birth to their daughter, Aliada. That's when things got messier. Mr. Carbajal started doubting the paternity just because of a photo on a cell phone. Seriously, one picture was enough to raise doubt?
So you claim Mr. Carbajal was the only person you were with?
Yes, Your Honor.
During that time she was
Your Honor.
conceived?
All she's doing this because she wants our money. She knows my
I don't
family.
care
She
about
She
money,
knows my
okay?
family has money, and she knows I don't work.
I don't care about
don't
money,
work,
Your Honor.
right?
I growing up, I did not have a father, and I did not want my daughter growing up without a father.
Here's the kicker. Mr. Carbajal even tattooed Aliana's name on his arm. Sounds like a committed dad, right? Yet still questions if she's really his, while Miss Lopez breaks down over the idea of her daughter growing up fatherless.
So all you got is a picture on a cell phone and you go, oh, this guy looks just like my niece. I don't think my brother's the father. What other doubt do you have? Did you witness? Did you hear about her sleeping with other people?
My family was, when they were born, they didn't look nothing like us. My mom and my dad were saying
Your daughter did look
that
like you.
they had nothing related to.
Now shifting to baby number 2, Noah. Mr. Carbajal claims he wasn't allowed to sign Noah's birth certificate, which just added fuel to his suspicions. Miss Lopez clapped back, saying he was absent from the start.
I was there when Aliana was born, when she was being pulled out of my daughter. Second time around, he wasn't there either for the Noah's birth. I was there for Noah's birth. I was there for both babies.
Why could I be?
Why is it?
Because you were never
Yeah, I
around.
was gonna go.
You changed your phone number.
What is it about this handsome young man that you doubt that he's your son?
I'm light-skinned, Your Honor.
He looks just like
Your
his grandpa.
dad is dark.
Enter Mr. Carbajal's sister, Christina, who throws in a bombshell the family doesn't see any resemblance between the kids and Mr. Carbajal. Miss Lopez stands firm, but the doubts in the courtroom are stacking up fast.
I did not meet up with my ex until a month before I had my daughter. I had no sexual contact with my ex or anybody else but your brother, Christina.
That was too soon, though.
It was not
Yes,
too
it
soon.
was.
The time that you
No.
send us
Yeah.
that picture, you were already pregnant with Noah.
Yes,
and
you
that
were.
guy looks exactly like Noah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
With emotions boiling over, Judge Lake steps in to control the chaos. She's not having the endless back and forth drama and demands real answers from both sides before things spiral even more.
To identify which
All we gotta do is
kids,
swabbing, or just put the name of the father and
you
the kids.
you write that name
Yeah.
in.
The names are wrong on there. My daughter's name is spelled wrong.
It was the
I
kids.
do not know if
it was the kids.
It
It
was the
was the
kids.
kids.
I was
My
not
mom
there.
was there. She knew what she was
I
You
doing.
were
was
writing their
there.
names on there?
You think my mom's
You
gonna
guys
spend
were
money
there.
on that?
I wasn't there.
No.
Judge Lake digs deep into every messy detail, trying to untangle the web of accusations and lies. It's intense, emotional, and no one is sure what the final outcome will be. It's a true courtroom showdown.
I wanted to be there when you guys did it.
Gabriella told him,
She
if you
wouldn't
want
let
to
them-
do it, let's do it. Let's do the swap.
I told you I wanted
Well,
to
it
be
happened.
there.
It happened already. I'm sorry.
You know what?
if
We have the results now from a laboratory conducted DNA test, and you sitting up there Still arguing about a home DNA test.
Finally, after all the fighting, Judge Lake delivers her verdict. Everyone holds their breath as the truth about paternity is revealed, and it's about to change everything.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not
Thank you.
Noah's father.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What do you gotta say? What do you gotta say for yourself? Why you been lying to me that they're my kids when they're not?
Manipulated into spending it on the baby. Now, if that's not a recipe for courtroom drama, what is?
I've done everything, Your Honor. I moved from California to go be out there with her with the baby. I've diapers, car notes, strollers, boxes, everything. I've done everything that I feel like a father should do
Of course
for
he
his
should
child.
do that. He's
so
the
I've
father.
done it all.
He's the father. Why shouldn't you do it? Why shouldn't you?
Let's give a slow clap to Mr. Bell for stepping up at first, but hold up. Why is he now claiming the defendant pulled a fast one on him? Get ready, because what's coming next might just knock you off your seat.
How do you feel she duped you? You said she duped you.
Because look what the baby looked like. The baby looks white, Your Honor. This baby, I'm expecting a chocolate baby, and this baby came out white, Your Honor.
Come on now.
Wait a minute.
Like I never.
My son, this is not, my son's life.
Your Honor,
my son's life is not a game. It's not a game. Every baby comes out light.
Baby sure stirred up a lot of questions, making some wonder if Mr. Bell's interest ran deeper than just braids. But Judge Lake's in charge here, and now Mr. Bell is about to lay all the facts on the table.
She turns down dudes on Facebook all the time. Oh, I'm always turning down dudes, something wrong with you. Then 2-3 guys calling her phone. I'm not the type of dude, let me see your phone, let me see your phone.
Okay, listen, guys are calling my phone.
But she throws it in my face, so it's like, so that means you talking to dudes.
Calling or texting my phone,
and we already having trust issues, so it's like, man.
Fast forward to the big day, the baby's birth. Mr. Bell was expecting chocolate drops. Surprise, surprise, he got vanilla. Talk about a flavor twist in the unpredictable aisle of life.
Yes, I must have had like a crazy look on my face or something, because she's like, what's wrong with the baby? What's wrong? Is he okay? And I'm like, man, this baby white. And I just sat down, all the doctors and them looked at me all crazy, like, oh, babies come out white. It just, to me, it seemed like they was trying to convince me.
So in that moment, you're thinking this baby is white, and you're thinking about this gentleman that's white that's always texting her?
Yeah.
Mr. Bell wasn't just about the hairstyles. He brought a full exhibit to court to show the color gap. The way he laid it out, it almost seemed like he had the audience eating out of his hand.
What I got.
Seriously, okay, now my son's life, again, my son's life is not a joke. It's not a joke, and he's trying to be funny.
And this is what I got, you know what I'm saying, as far as with the complexion being, you know what I'm saying? And then this is my son. And this is what come out. This is how he come out, a white boy with an afro.
He looks exactly like
That's exactly what came out.
Sure, Mr. Bell, babies come in all colors like a box of chocolates. What really grinds his gears is her phone buzzing nonstop with random guys thanks to her being a hairdresser. Sounds like jealousy talking to me.
Bell knows everything. We don't have any lies. You know, I don't know why he's sitting here putting on a show. Don't know why. Go ahead and be funny.
You know
Go ahead
what
and
I
be
mean?
funny. That's
It's
fine.
crazy.
But I do hair for a living. You know, that's what I do. That's how I make my money.
Media.
Okay, I remember. I
I just know.
actually remember the day that I conceived. You know, that he was conceived, and he was conceived. I know. So him.
That's what I'm saying. How you know you pregnant already from that night?
And the more they talk, the bigger this courtroom bonfire gets, with emotions flaring and drama reaching a whole new level.
Mr. Bell, you are the father.
Thank you. Thank you. It took all of this. It took all of this just to show you. It doesn't make sense. It took all of this. It took all of this, right?
Prove that her college sweetheart is the father of her now grown daughter. It's been over 23 years since their encounter, and now she's ready to tell the truth.
Jenkins, you say after 23 years, you are here to finally prove to your college sweetheart that he is your daughter, Marquisa's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Crockett, you say Ms. Jenkins was having sex with several men while you were in college, and you are positive you are not her daughter's father. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Crockett, college sweetheart in question, wasn't buying it. He claimed that back in college, Miss Jenkins was intimate with multiple men, so in his eyes, there was no way he could be the father.
Recently, me and Corey just reconnected, and we were dating back in college, so he has to be the possible father.
You all dated back in college?
Yes, Your Honor.
And now you believe 23 years later that he is your daughter's biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, Mr. Crockett, you don't believe that?
No, Your Honor.
Why?
Because she's not my child, you know.
Judge Lauren naturally asked the big question, why wait 23 years to bring this up? Miss Jenkins had a curious answer. She said she and Mr. Crockett recently reconnected, and he had to be the father because they were sweethearts back then.
But of course, we had an instant attraction, and then I was also messing with a guy from my church.
Oh,
but
so you were in college?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said there were 3?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were messing with Mr. Crockett?
Yes,
and
Your Honor.
who else? The guy from high school?
Yes,
that
Your
was
Honor.
back at home? And somebody at church?
Yes, Your Honor.
But Mr. Crockett wasn't convinced, and honestly, neither was the courtroom. Miss Jenkins' story started to twist and turn. Now she was admitting she had other partners at the time. Not just one, but 2 others during that same period.
Oh, I didn't.
How do you remember this relationship?
We was both in band. You know, I played the drums, she played the clarinet. She did a little flag twirling, and then one of my friends came and told me she liked me. So we kind of hooked up from then on, and we was having sex, and just went from there.
As expected, Mr. Crockett was stunned. He remembered things differently. They had started a relationship through their high school band, and it was mostly sexual from the beginning, but he had no idea about the other men.
I was 4 months pregnant.
4 months?
4 months. And I didn't tell nobody because I was scared, because I knew I had been sleeping with several guys. I was terrified to tell my mom. Came down to where I had no choice but to tell her.
Who did you tell her the father was of the baby? Your mother?
My high school sweetheart.
Okay.
And I really didn't have to tell her. She just assumed because that's who they knew I was with.
Things were going smoothly between them until Miss Jenkins fell seriously ill. Concerned, she went to the hospital for answers, only to receive a major shock. She was already 4 months pregnant.
You never told him you were pregnant?
Never. I never told him.
She called me up one day, Your Honor, and told me to come pick her up, and I went and picked her up, and we hung out, and we had sex, you know, and when she put her clothes back on, she reached in her back pocket and pulled this picture out and was like, "Do you think this baby's yours?" And I was like, "No." Then I showed my grandmother.
Here's the kicker. Mr. Crockett was never told about the pregnancy. The only person Miss Jenkins confided in was her mother, who simply assumed the baby belonged to Mr. Crockett. Miss Jenkins then tried to play a trick to see if he was truly the father.
You know, his parents accepted it, but me, I knew because I knew what I was doing. And so I felt like, I was like, this can't be. And then, so I mentioned it to the other guy from my church, and I informed him, I said, you know, this may be your baby. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, well, you know, you've been there, so hey, it's a possibility that this may be your baby.
After the baby was born, Mr. Crockett was still completely out of the loop. Miss Jenkins even informed his parents, and they welcomed the child warmly. Yet deep down, she knew what she was doing wasn't right.
Your high school sweetheart is her biological father.
Yes, sir.
She's never been told anything different.
Never.
And now you're here to prove that, in fact, the high school sweetheart is not her biological father, but Mr. Crockett is.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think it's time to hear from Marquisa. I want to know what she has to say. Jerome?
Over 2 decades, her daughter believed that Mr. Crockett was her father. Miss Jenkins never once hinted that there might be someone else, but the truth was about to explode in the courtroom.
Just now, like recently, probably like a week before we came, I just found out that he wasn't the father.
Miss Jenkins, you just told your daughter 1 week ago
I just told her.
that the man she believed was her biological father for 23 years really was not?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how did you determine that?
I had him tested when she was 13. Like I said, I wanted child support.
Miss Jenkins' daughter walked in, clearly heartbroken. She had only been told a week earlier that the man she thought was her father might not be. The shock was written all over her face.
I really have a father-daughter relationship because he was in and out of my life. Like, he was never consistently there. When him and my mom got back together when I was about 11 or 12, then at that point we started to kind of build a relationship, and in between then we experienced Hurricane Katrina together. He was there for me. He taught me like a lot of stuff during that time. But then after that, him and my mom.
Her daughter spoke about her complicated relationship with the man she knew was her father. She always felt a distance she couldn't explain. Now, all that remained was one critical answer. Would the DNA test reveal Mr. Crockett was the real dad?
Not the father. You are not the father, sir. Marquisia, are you okay, hon? I know you were hoping for the closure today.
Yeah.
You've been very strong.
He wanted to clear his name after Miss James opened a child support case, insisting he was the father of her baby.
You are here in court desperate for DNA results. You say the defendant went behind your back and opened a child support case, claiming you are the father of her 4-month-old daughter, Nyasia. You're hoping today's results will prove you are not the biological father before the child support order goes into effect. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Out of nowhere, Mr. Hammond received legal papers demanding child support payments. As you can imagine, he was completely confused. He was sure he wasn't anyone's dad. Without hesitation, he decided a DNA test was the only way to settle it.
For the child listed above.
Right.
Okay. And so when you got that paperwork, what were you thinking?
I'm like, man, I need a DNA test, straight up.
So, Mr. Hammond, take me to the nature of your relationship. How did you all meet?
Okay, I dated her for a couple years. I moved away for like 4, and during that time, I had a relationship with Miss Kiera.
It was time for the truth to come out, and the judge asked how their relationship began. Mr. Hammond dropped a bombshell. He had a messy back and forth with Miss James and his girlfriend, both of whom knew about each other.
That's when I reconnected with Miss James.
So you were doing a back and forth, but at some point, ended up dating both of these women at the same time.
Like I said, you know.
Like I said.
Both of them knew. Well, she didn't know.
He actually said that he's keeping her under, he didn't want her to know because he was just getting money from her.
Mr. Hammond claimed he kept Miss James around mainly for financial support. Meanwhile, Miss James remembered things differently. She admitted knowing he was seeing someone else, but resented always being asked for money.
Actually, when he told me he was going to get money from her, I said, go ahead, I'm not going to give you my money. You need to find a job or something. I'm not going to take care of a grown man. She can do it, I'm not going to do it.
But you were still having sex with him.
We were. He was always at my house.
He was always at your house.
Yeah, he was.
So right before Nyasia was conceived, you all weren't in a real relationship.
No.
But you were having sex.
Right, at that time, she got pregnant in March.
Things took an even messier turn when both women became pregnant around the same time. Mr. Hammond had officially landed himself in a situation far more complicated than he ever imagined.
While this young woman was pregnant with your child,
right, and
you were still having sex with Miss James.
Yeah, of course. That's what I said. Well, we all know that because they're, you know, kind of close. So that's why I say, of course, because it's close. But what I'm saying is, you know, let's get back on topic. She called me and told me that she was pregnant, right?
Both sides had major secrets to spill. Mr. Hammond said Miss James didn't want him involved with the baby. Miss James, however, insisted he apologized to her for getting his girlfriend pregnant and wanted to be part of the baby's life.
I was at work and we had met and sat down and he was telling me how he's so sorry that he did it or whatever. He shouldn't have got her pregnant. This is the truth. And he was just telling me like he messed up and he's like, I have a plan or something, I guess, to take, I don't know.
Hold on 1 second.
Right.
Stop whispering things over to your girlfriend. Let's stay on topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's be on topic.
Just when it seemed like things couldn't get crazier, Miss James dropped another bomb. She admitted she had slept with another man 3 times during her pregnancy with Mr. Hammond's alleged baby.
We text him and then a family member called me and was like, are you sure, you know, that's his baby? And I was like, no, I'm not sure because I honestly had sex with another man earlier that day.
Earlier the what?
That day, and he knew it. It was on my birthday actually.
Yeah.
And we had sex 3 times. When I spent the night at his house, went to work from his house the next day.
Whose house?
The courtroom turned into a math contest trying to figure out the conception date. With the timelines not adding up, it became a wild guessing game about who was lying and who was telling the truth.
Went to the doctor for your checkup. They gave you a conception date of August 6th, which was the actual day.
Right.
You had sex with 2 different men.
Right.
So if you did, and there is another man that you had sex with, how are you so certain it's Mr. Hammond's baby? It's really now, we at a 50-50 split right now.
He's old, really old. So I think that his chances of like having kids.
Judge Lauren had finally seen enough of the chaos, lies, and betrayal. It was time to reveal the DNA results and find out once and for all who was truly the father of Miss James's child.
Mr. Hammond, you are not the father.
That's fine.
You are not the father.
Okay. No, excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
You're influencing everyone but these children that you do not have anything to do with and you do not financially support. You said they were with you excuse me? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
It's getting hot.
She trying to show you what she had
The BBL?
done. Yeah.
I'm not, and if I remember correctly, you filed the lawsuit on him previously and had the audacity not to show up. So you definitely need to pipe down.
Okay, I chose money though.
Okay, well, you may have, and we're going to get into that and see how much money you probably are going to be paying on child support. So the kids have been with you, looks like it's been about 7 or 8 months now.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So in this 7 or 8 months, has mom been paying?
She has not been paying.
Has she at least been visiting with the children?
She hasn't visited the children, but she visited that man in jail that she ran off with.
You are seeking to put mom on child support.
I am.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
I think that's about it, Your Honor. Just ready to hold her accountable.
Okay. Boy. Okay, Miss Daniels.
Yes, Judge.
Excuse me.
Judge, I'm sorry.
Are you here to be pretty, or are you here to tell me your side of the story as to why you shouldn't pay child support today?
A little bit of both, Judge.
We don't care.
Well, that's why I petitioned the court. I do apologize for not showing up, Judge, but let me tell you, I came up, you know.
Oh, let's talk about this come up. What kind of come up we talking about?
Well, Judge, I met a man who said he can change my life, Judge.
All right, so how financially, did he change this life of yours?
Not too much.
Oh yes.
Mr. Clough. Mr. Clough. We don't know. Let's hear her side of the story, because I'm pretty sure she's going to say some interesting stuff about finance.
Judge, Clough don't know nothing. Listen, understand that I got at least, 6 figures in the bank.
Oh, okay.
Had 6 figures in the bank.
She must not be thinking clearly if she actually believes bragging is going to help her case. Let's take a look at how fast this completely backfires.
Oh, like I said.
No, let me direct you really quick. You're getting ready to talk about these 6 figures you have in the bank.
I do.
All right, how much money we talking?
We talking about, 300-400. You know what I'm saying?
Bullshit. Sorry.
You said no more outbursts.
I was coughing. I'm sorry.
It's true.
It's your allergies.
Yeah.
Handle that. You need some tissue?
No. No, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Daniels, that's what you have in the bank. How much money are you making annually?
Well, it kind of just depends on the year and how many promotions I get, how many companies want to invest in me. So it just depends. Anywhere between.
When are you going to answer my question?
Judge, it's a difficult question for me, because sometimes I can have a promotion that's $500, or I can have a promotion that's $50,000 plus. So,
Miss Daniels, I don't have a lot of time, right? I have other cases I need to get here.
I do understand that.
Right. So you obviously came here to waste my time.
I didn't.
You did, because I asked you a very simple question. On average,
simple answer.
On average, how much do you make in a year?
Judge, I'd like to say about maybe about 30 to 100K.
Okay, 30 to 100,000?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna take the high end so we can keep this moving, because you came here to waste my time and I do not have time to play with you.
Not only did she cheat and abandon her kids, but she really thought she could walk away without facing any consequences. Instead, she walked straight into an obvious trap, too busy hyping herself up to see it coming.
And is this from an employer, or are you self-employed?
What are we doing? Self-employed.
All right.
I do influence.
What do you influence?
I influence the world.
You clearly aren't influencing. You said the world?
The world.
Well, that doesn't include these 5 children, because you don't even go and see them, right?
It's just been the last couple months.
Well,
okay?
No, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
You're influencing everyone but these children that you do not have anything to do with and you do not financially support. You said they were with you excuse me?
It's hot.
What are we doing here?
It's getting hot.
She trying to show you what she had
The BBL?
done. Yeah.
I'm not interested in the BBL. Let me tell you what I'm about to do. I'm about to make these numbers go BBL, okay?
Judge, can I speak briefly?
Briefly. Make it quick.
Quickly, in the last few months, it has been a downtrend due to inflation and all that stuff. People aren't paying as much.
How much was your BBL?
I didn't pay for that.
How much was it? How much was it?
I mean, you know, I got more than the BBL. I had tube sock titties, so I got the boobies, then I got the booty, and then I got all that. So he probably paid $35.
If she put as much effort into being a mother as she does into her surgeries, maybe she wouldn't be in this mess. And whoever is bankrolling those surgeries might want to reflect just as much as she should.
$1,000?
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, let me hurry up and get you out of here with these numbers. You're about to pay child support. You have 5 children total, or do you have other children outside of these 5? That are under the age of 18?
No, I don't.
Okay,
They're grown.
so just the 5 children, right?
Yes.
All right, so 5 children, that is going to be at the 40%. And you said health insurance was about $350, right?
Yes, Shauna.
All right. So your child support, you're looking at monthly. So with your testimony being on the high end of $100,000, that's what I just based your child support off of. So, I mean, well, I was going to make it higher than that and do it like the $350,000. Then that would make you cap out. But
I think you should do that.
Well,
no.
If I have to accept her testimony is true, but I don't really think that it's going to help her too much because her child support is still going to be pretty hefty. So I have your gross at $8,333.33. That brings your net to $6,512.07. So $6,512 times the 40%. That brings your child support amount to $2,604.
Is that a week, Your Honor?
How often are you paid? Are you paid by the day? You paid by the month? How are you paid?
Judge, it just depends.
She just answered my question. That's a monthly amount.
I mean, that's
how
great.
she's
Monthly.
paid, it'll just break down, but the amount is $2,604 plus.
I can give you that.
Plus.
You need it.
$350 reimbursement for the children, so that brings your monthly rate to $2,954.
I got it. Can the kids stay with him though?
The kids will continue to live with him because that's who they live with, and obviously you care more about a BBL than them.
That's not true.
We don't know when she's gonna run off again with the next guy.
No next guy. I'm good.
It'll be a caprice this time.
I'm good.
If you like this video, I guarantee you'll love the next one. I'll see you there.
Well, last time you hit me in the face real hard with
How did I do that? I didn't get off the bench.
I mean, I'm just saying, $7 million in child support and then $7 million, and then I didn't have any proof that I was already paying insurance and all these other great things. So I brought my insurance, receipts here, and then I also brought.
Oh, now she paying insurance.
I also brought proof of some current situations. I am hoping I get my children back or get all the child support away and just pay the insurance until I get somewhere else.
So let me make sure I got this right. No child support. Health insurance update. So the only thing you want to pay is health insurance?
Correct.
For her children.
Mr. Lewis, you remember last time we were here, right? I got up and left. You remember that?
We won't cause that again.
Okay. And the last time I let you all do a whole lot of talk, we're not going to have any of those outbursts, are we? We're on our best behavior
no, ma'am, Your
today,
Grace.
right?
No, ma'am, Your Grace. We understand this time. We have the assignment this time.
Okay, sounds good.
First, if it's all right with you, I'd like to show you the insurance information.
Okay.
I explained that I have been paying $750 the entire year that my children have been with him, and here are the receipts from that.
All right.
Just 2 weeks ago, my child, Fire, was rushed to the hospital because
Mr. Lewis, she's speaking. She's speaking.
Because he left them at home alone, and she burnt her arm on the stove trying to cook noodles.
This is a heartbreaking story. A child left alone was injured while trying to cook for herself. This isn't just neglect of her physical safety, but also a sign of emotional unavailability. An emotionally aware parent would ensure a safe and secure environment. This situation highlights the consequences of emotional immaturity, leaving children feeling unsupported and unsafe.
And I have the medical bill for that here, and it shows that I paid that as well. He was not there. He did not show up. He was nowhere to be found until they discharged her and I took my child to.
All right, so let me ask you about this. Did you give him a copy of this bill?
Absolutely.
All right. How long ago did you give him a copy?
Right after I paid it.
Okay. All right. So I have that noted. Okay.
And I also have a letter here. So sorry, I have all these documentation. But I also have a letter here from his brother stating that yes, I have been picking the children up like I'm supposed to, which is every week, three times a week, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
He got really creative with this letter.
I did. I wanted to make sure it was all facts and that you could read it and you know, it comes out exactly how it needs to be. But also it states in there how he lives with his mother now because the money for child support is not being used for housing. They got evicted.
The fact that the children were evicted and now live in poor conditions with their grandmother further underscores a lack of emotional maturity in the parents. Emotionally unavailable fathers in particular often overlook their family's basic needs. Parenting isn't just about money. It's about emotional support for both women and children. When one parent is emotionally dependent on the other, the burden becomes unbalanced, leaving one to carry all the weight. What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments.
So now they live with his mother in his little shack in the back where the dogs and the cages are, and my baby's just sleeping on the floor now. So the money that I'm paying the child support, I don't know where it's going at this point.
That's what we're doing, babe. Okay.
In this binder that you gave me, are the cash out receipts in here?
No, they are on my phone.
Okay.
I do apologize.
You didn't
for
print
that.
it out for me?
I thought I did. I tried to get everything else. Just one thing. Here you go, Your Honor. And boom, here are all the receipts.
Now, I know you don't expect me to read everything in this binder or the highlighted portions for me. Okay.
Yeah. Can I interstate for a second?
No, you cannot.
Interstate?
Yes.
Like a highway?
That's the word, right? Interstate to come in while she.
Mr. Lewis.
Interject.
Now, pipe down. As soon as I finish speaking with her, I will allow you to interject into our conversation. Okay, thank you. Now, Miss Tyler, these cash out receipts, they're kind of consistent with what he said.
No way.
I remember it. He blurted out 55. I remember it. Yes.
And in my cash out receipts right there, everything on there is more than 55. And
okay, are these to different people?
No, they're directly to him. That's under his name.
Because it looks consistent. It looks very consistent with what he said.
No, ma'am, that is every month. There's a deposit every month on my cash out receipts.
Deposit, no cash out. Done.
You don't write memos like what it's for?
Yeah.
It's to him. So that's the only time I'm sending the money is for my children. I didn't need a memo for that.
Right. Well, usually I try to encourage people on the memo to write like child support or something like that so it's clear. You know, anything that you send that doesn't really say for a child support is considered a gift. So.
In his name?
But no worries.
I'll definitely look at the highlighted portions.
No worries.
I would definitely look at the highlighted portions.
Also behind in that binder, there's also my bank statements showing where child support has been taking monthly payments out of my bank account as well.
I see that. I see that with the highlighted in orange, right? Right. So is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to him?
No, it's just last time they had a place to stay supposedly. Now there is no place to stay and I want my children.
Okay. So you want the children back, no child support, just pay health insurance. What are you asking that they just stop living with dad altogether?
No, I want them back with me if that's possible. If not, then, I mean, because the money that I'm giving right now in child support, where is it going if you don't have a place to stay?
Right. Well, it's not possible here today because we're only concerned with matters involving child support and health insurance.
Okay.
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 Now for visitation and all of that, that's going to be something different.
Okay.
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 So is it okay if I move over to him?
Yes. And one more time. I'm so sorry. Come back. He sleeps in the car with someone while my children are in the house on the floor by the dog cages.
Who is?
Can we clean that?
Can you see who's in the car?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The same.
Be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long?
The young lady that he played with toys with, it was her in the car.
Oh, all right. That's back here in the gallery.
Yes.
Okay. Miss Tyler, don't come here and waste my time.
Nah.
You could have just said the young lady sitting in the back.
You said be nice, Your Honor, and I want to be nice and honest.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else you want me to know?
No.
Now, Mr. Lewis, it's your turn. What do you want me to know?
Thank you, Your Majesty, for this opportunity to tell you exactly what's going on. First of all, she said that she took her child to the hospital. We got 3 boys, so well, girl, come in
and
boys, right? And hugs,
Why you
moms.
keep making up these kids' names? Those they other girl kids. You know, and our children is Earth, Wind, and Fire.
While we're while we're on the subject, did anybody bring the kids' birth certificates?
They in there as well. They are in that binder as well.
Okay, is it toward the front?
It's got funded through. It's in the middle.
You didn't tab it for me?
Somewhere in there.
You didn't tab it or anything?
You know what, ma'am?
This one is organized.
It might be a little bit. It might be a little bit. He went school shopping.
I went school shopping?
That wasn't nice.
I went school shopping?
Which
dirty.
tab?
Ooh, you dirty.
Which tab are the birth certificates? Because both of you said ages that were far off.
Why you talking
Yellow
about?
folder marked Exhibit 1A.
Ain't that something? Mine somewhere in the folds.
1A.
The
It's all
manila?
peeled.
Oh,
Yes.
I see what you did. Y'all photocopied them and put them on one page. Okay.
Ma'am.
All right.
Just how you would have expected someone to come to court with,
You know
real
what?
valid information and not
Let me check my notes.
Because she gonna sit here and say we had a girl. I don't know no girl with that girl.
I don't remember hearing the gender of the children.
No, the 3 boys.
No, it was not.
I remember Earth, Wind, and Fire. I don't ever remember a gender being placed on the kids.
Ask her the kids' ages again, because the birth certificates tell you 16, 12, and 9.
No, they do not.
What they say then,
What year?
Badgie Pooh, what they say then?
Excuse me. What years were Earth, Wind, and Fire born in? No, Miss Tyler, it's actually your turn to talk.
Oh, okay, great. Which one?
Earth, Wind, and Fire. How old are they?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Because I'm looking at birth certificates. I don't see a birth certificate
Don't
in
act
yours.
like that. You're 7, 9, and 11. Don't act like that. You're 7, 9, and 11.
Them was the numbers you played for the Mega Million. Don't try that.
And it had to be the numbers you paid for the Mega Million, because
Ma'am,
that's
I
not
don't
what
know
these
what
birth
he done
certificates
finagled
say.
up there, but my birth certificates were proved
God is good.
7, 9, and 11. That is real crazy that your birth certificates are different from mine when mine are originals and yours are copies. That's what I don't understand.
Well, his is actually a photocopy, so it's
photocopy. If mine are originals and his are photocopied, then aren't my dates and my sex and the names on my birth certificates are the ones that are correct?
You're most powerful.
I don't understand it now.
So I have a question. I have a question, because normally this is not how evidence is presented. I'm just giving, because you guys are representing yourself and it's obvious you don't know what you're doing. Do you object to her evidence? Do you object to his evidence?
I solely object to anything that she brings to this court.
Hold on, Miss Tyler, hold on. What's your legal objection?
Because I guarantee she didn't even show you the stuff, the cash stuff didn't have.
Mr. Lewis, I asked for your legal objection. You said you object. What is your legal objection?
Councilwoman, I'm objecting that she's bringing in falsified documentations, because she's saying she has paperwork from my brother saying this, that, and the other. I ain't seen my brother in 16 years. Me and him don't talk. And I'm staying at my mama's house because there's some stuff going on. That ain't got nothing to do with it.
Okay.
The kids
and the letter that came from the brother, I did tell you it looked colorful.
Thank
and you said you did something to it, right?
No, I just made it professional to make sure that it came across professional.
Okay,
that's what I did to it.
And what was your objection again?
She probably did something with him, so that evidence that she's trying to present you is
okay, tainted. And you mentioned something else about it being a fraudulent document or something like that.
Yes, because
so let me put this thing back on track. I will not entertain the letter because he objected that it's fraud and it's forged, and you admitted that you made it more professional, so you actually altered it.
I didn't touch it at all, all I did was print it off, and he typed it up, making it look professional as hey.
Sudden appearance of a letter from Mr. Lewis's brother, whom he hasn't spoken to in 16 years, raises suspicions. This seems like a classic sign of emotional immaturity, using others to cover up one's own lack of preparation. It also reflects how adult children of emotionally unavailable parents often avoid taking responsibility. Emotional intelligence requires honesty and accountability, not distractions or weak evidence.
Don't make it look like trash when we print it off.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
That's professional.
That's all you did was print it out.
Did to
okay,
it.
so you didn't alter it.
No.
All right. So
your glory. She says that she has
Your
bank
who?
statements. Your glory.
Okay. I have a lot of names from you.
Baby, ain't they?
Anyway, your glory. She said that she has bank statements. You can't get a bank statement from the package store. They don't have a receipt for you. You go to the package store when you get paid and cash your check. Don't try.
Excuse me.
We've seen you several times.
Excuse me, Mr. Lewis, 1 second. Miss Tyler, you still haven't answered my question.
Which was it? I'm sorry.
About the year your kids were born.
7 years ago, 9 years ago, and 11 years ago. What's
Okay,
that?
see, both of you came here to waste my time.
What's
you give me
that?
all these documents.
What's that?
And, you know, I'm thinking you giving me things that are legit.
They are.
But that's not what these birth
Okay, hold on. What's
certificates
this?
are saying.
22 minus 7 that long ago, and then 22. So somebody was born in 2011. Don't worry.
Miss Tyler,
Don't
Miss
judge
Tyler.
me.
Okay, here's the deal. At the end of the day, you came looking for something very specific. What it is that she said that is untrue. Is it true you got evicted? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I didn't get evicted. I got put out. But you know.
What's the difference? Mr. Lewis, come on now. What's the difference?
All right, so check it out. So we were all together with a friend. The friend happened to hear about this case and what was going on, and the payment that we received behind our delinquency of child support and insurance. So they tried to up the rental payment that I was making, and I wasn't for that. So I just took them kids to Disney World and stuff.
So what she said was true then. You didn't use the money for the kids per se. You took a trip to Disneyland?
Another significant moment is Mr. Lewis admitting he plans to move out of state with the children without court approval. This decision reveals a serious lack of emotional intelligence. Major choices like this should consider the needs of the other parent and the children. Emotional immaturity often shows up as indifference to others. True emotional awareness means understanding how your actions impact those around you. Something clearly missing here.
Pay for your ticket.
She did. What you mean?
Her child support?
I'm the legal guardian. I had to be with the kids, but see,
right, but you understand that child support is for the children, not for your flight and all of that kind of stuff.
It's for the support of the children. If I was not
to
there,
support them to go see Mickey Mouse?
Yes, the kids been through all kind of psychological drama. They got PTSD from their mommy.
From me?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no way PTSD from me.
Your attitude.
Aren't you the one that wake them up and then want to give them milk and water mixed in their cereals?
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving
You would not be feeding my children cereals with milk and water.
Feed them.
So the answer to my question is yes, that you did get evicted. So where are the children living?
We are staying with my mother at this time.
So that is also true what she said.
Yes, ma'am, Your Highness.
All right. And it's also true that you've been using the child support to take the children to Disneyland, including yourself.
That was once.
Okay. What else have you been doing with the money?
Well, I have been furthering my abilities to elevate in my employment.
I mean, licking boots.
Basically, what's taking place?
So you going to school?
We'll be moving. No, we'll be moving. We're going to be moving from the state. I found a new job that's going to be paying more.
From the state?
Yes, we're leaving this state.
Did you ask the custody court for permission to move out of the state? You can't just leave. You have to ask for permission.
We went to Disney World.
Finally, using child support money for a Disney World trip shows misplaced priorities. It reflects emotional immaturity, focusing on short-term enjoyment rather than long-term needs. While fun moments are important, children require stability and security. Emotional maturity involves making decisions that prioritize their well-being and provide a stable foundation. Don't forget to like this video and share it with others to spread awareness.
You came back. That's on vacation. You're talking about moving these kids, their residence.
I'm making it better for them.
Are you making it better for them to spend their money?
No.
Mr. Lewis, because you just admitted you've already done that.
I didn't even spend, and I'm telling you, if I have to, I can give her some of the money back. We didn't even spend all of it.
So
we had some change.
Let me ask you a question. I'm looking through, I think this her bond.
What color is
it? Blue. Did you need it's some medicine in here?
Yes. So
a little rotten bowels, that's probably what it is.
No, it's actually due to the horrible diet that you have my child on. So now she has to take Pepto-Bismol twice a day.
Who is she?
You got one more time to act like you don't know Fire is a girl.
It's on your birth certificate. It's a girl.
Well, why her name Mark?
No, she's Fire.
Oh, so you gonna go with it too, Your Honor? Okay.
No, I'm just gonna go with what you provided.
Well, I'm gonna have to use your line this time.
Which one?
Don't be sorry. Just don't use it.
You know what? You obviously came here to waste my time. Have you already moved?
Not yet. In 2 weeks.
Okay, so you're planning on moving
with my money. So you waiting on
Is that a yes or a no? You plan on moving?
Yes, ma'am.
In 2 weeks. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to grant her request, and I am going to stop the child support, because if you move, that means she does not get to see her kids. She would see them now. So the child support will be stopped, and you will be ordered to continue paying health insurance.
So
you already plan to move.
Your backslide, your toy buddy.
Excuse me, Miss Tyler. You already about to move, and who, ma'am? You were a witness last time. You're not up here today. Okay, thank you. Now you are already planning to move. All right. So that's a material change, don't you think? You move. You've admitted to using the money for reasons outside of the children. Yeah.
Judge wasn't about to let anyone play games with child support, and in the end, a big decision was made. Moving plans, money spent, and accountability. This case had it all. What do you think? Was justice served? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more jaw-dropping courtroom moments. Until next time, stay tuned for more drama, decisions, and reality.
So she is not going to be paying you child support anymore. Now, if for any reason you decide to come back, if there is any reason you decide to come back, maybe we can address it then. But she does have also sufficient receipts. There are some receipts that say the 55. She was given 55, but it also shows where she's giving you $500. She's giving you $125. It doesn't matter. At the point of it is,
she have name on it?
She admitted, yes.
You sure?
I can't say what it says, but yes, it's you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's me then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
All right.
Know that.
So that's what we're going to do. I made my ruling. You're going to keep paying health insurance.
Before you stop, I need you to do this. With us moving, I don't want Veg money or her insurance money. You can have the kids or not. We out of here. That's what I just wanted to make sure you knew. We out of here.
Your
Whether she
Honor,
pay or
what
not.
does that mean? Wait a minute. Hold on. What does that mean?
We leaving. We going to the California.
Okay, so the kids going with you, or they going to stay here with
She might can keep fire if that's what she want to call. That little girl named Mark.
Anywho, I've made my ruling. She is going to continue maintaining health insurance as long as the children are living with you, or even if they at some point live with her. The children have to stay insured. Okay.
Do you want them?
I want them today, because you're not gonna make my kids move into no.
Oh well, it sounds like. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
So it sounds like you all already made your agreement for custody court, and if there's nothing further, you all.
You go.
Justine, you, Justine.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, hold on. I told you.
I already knew I wasn't.
Jerome, can you go see if you can try to get Miss Graham? Mr. Carmen, you got yourself a boom boom room during the separation?
That's correct. Blah, 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 blah. What?
I want you. He just saying, go to your mama. Go to your mama. Why are you telling her to go to her mother?
And will you marry me? Yes, I will. But we need a DNA test. I mean, how do we get from being engaged and being happy, planning a wedding? Mr. Jeter, you are...
Case 1. Miss Graham is determined to prove that her 4-year-old daughter Taylor is indeed Mr. Scott's biological child. Mr. Scott isn't buying it, he's skeptical, claiming the conception timeline just doesn't add up.
Are here to prove to your on-again, off-again fiancé, Mr. Scott, that your 4-year-old daughter Taylor is his biological child. You say his paternity denial is destroying your relationship, and you need today's results to save your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Despite planning a wedding, their relationship is under serious strain. Mr. Scott's constant doubts about Taylor's paternity are clouding everything, and he's not holding back on pointing out inconsistencies.
Your Honor, I asked her for a test over and over again.
Okay, but take me back. How did we get to the point where, okay, will you marry me? Yes, I will. But we need a DNA test. I mean, how do we get from being engaged and being happy, planning a wedding, to all of a sudden this DNA thing looming over our heads?
Because I want to move on with it, but not if Taylor Rose is not my daughter. I don't want to move on
So if
with it.
Taylor's not your biological child, you're not getting.
In a shocking turn, Mr. Scott makes it clear no DNA confirmation, no wedding. Miss Graham is stunned, and suddenly everything they've built together hinges on one test.
Produce this paternity question.
It was him. I know the night that I conceived. I definitely know the night I conceived. We went down to Orlando. We got a room. We had sex for about a week, nonstop. He knows exactly which weekend I'm talking about.
Your Honor, that's
It's like after I got pregnant, like I said, he just flipped
not
the
true, Your Honor.
script.
Were you engaged during then?
Yeah, no, we were engaged before then.
Miss Graham admits that during their on and off relationship, things got physical often and without protection. Mr. Scott, feeling vindicated, starts questioning her every move during that chaotic time.
You count back, you're saying we were off then and
Right.
not having sex
We
then.
was way off then, Your Honor, way off.
So when you saw it, what did you do with the information?
I didn't say anything to her about the paperwork until she approached me about being pregnant.
So what happened when you approached him, Ms. Graham? What did you say?
I approached him because this was like my first time being pregnant.
Still,
this is my
Miss
first
Graham
child.
stands firm. He insists she knows exactly when Taylor was conceived and even recounts a passionate trip to Orlando as the moment it all happened.
So much stress to my pregnancy, so much unnecessary stress.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Did you break up during the pregnancy?
We just separated before the pregnancy. We got back together. We were always on and off again, so the timeline is a little sketchy, but we did break up several times. But the bottom line is we never stopped having sex throughout this entire thing.
Your Honor, ask her that.
But the drama escalates when Mr. Scott reveals he found paperwork showing Miss Graham was already 6 weeks pregnant before she told him. The doubts only deepen.
Undoubtedly my child.
I just wanted to have time. I had just graduated. I just wanted to have time for myself to see what my options were before I had him. Once I did make the decision to keep the child, I brought it to him. You know, I was very afraid. Like I said, I just had graduated. My life is just beginning to take off. I did not know if I wanted to take on the stress or hardship of being a parent at that time.
Now, emotions are running high. Miss Graham feels betrayed by the man she loves, while Mr. Scott refuses to accept fatherhood without proof. The future of their wedding-in relationship rests entirely on that DNA result.
Mr. Scott, you are not the father.
Thank you, Your Honor. I already knew I wasn't.
Jerome, can you go see if you can try to get Miss Graham?
Case 2 next up is Miss Fain, who's here to prove that her estranged husband, Mr. Gator, is the father of not one but two of her children. She admits to cheating, but calls herself a careful cheater. Sounds like a recipe for chaos.
Estranged husband today. The first is to prove that he fathered your 4-year-old son, Antoine Jeter, and the second is to prove he fathered your 2-year-old son, Kingston Jeter. You testify that you may not have been a faithful wife, but you were a careful one, and you are positive he is the father of both children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gator isn't buying it. He's absolutely sure he's not the father of either child, and claims Miss Fain is trying to pin the kids on him just because they're still legally married.
You are still legally married.
Yes, we are.
How did you meet? Take me back.
We met back in 2010. We did meet over the chat line.
You start dating, and then you were in a committed relationship, ended up getting married.
Got married after my daughter was 4 months old.
Okay. And then somewhere along the line, paternity questions.
Yes.
Miss Fain opens up about raising the boys alone. She says it's been incredibly hard, especially since Mr. Gator hasn't been helping. Her car was even repossessed in the process.
So, Miss Fain, you were cheating on your husband.
Yes, I was.
Why?
Pretty much, I got married early, and I just wasn't interested in Drew anymore. So I started cheating.
And so, Mr. Jeter, is this the only time you caught your wife cheating?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Things really heat up when Miss Fain confesses she cheated not once, but twice. Mr. Gator caught her both times, red-handed. This courtroom's got no shortage of drama.
And she called and told me that, she was pregnant. My only response was DNA test. I don't want to take care of nobody else's child. I'm sorry, I don't.
We was having sex unprotectedly.
Unprotected, but you also had the affair during that time too, right?
Yes, protected. I was protected.
We find out they first met on a chat line back in 2010 and eventually tied the knot. But things soured. And Miss Fain admits she stepped out of the marriage when she felt the spark was gone.
I moved back to Memphis. Once this second incident happened, I took my butt back home,
So Antoine is 4. Have you developed a relationship with him? Do you have a relationship with him?
I would be honest about
No,
that.
Your Honor.
No, I really don't have
Not at
a
all.
relationship with him.
He's acting out. He don't listen. He don't have a father figure in his life, and he needs his dad.
Mr. Gator recalls the exact moment he caught her cheating. The phone rang, and there was another man on the other end. They managed to reconcile once, but could they survive a second betrayal?
I think that's more devastating, you know.
Is it going to be more devastating than if they end up yours and you are the father and you've missed 4 years of connecting with them and the child is acting out because he has no father figure and he thinks you're his daddy, but he thinks you only come for his sister and not for him?
Well, I admit it's not fair, but you know, it's just the hand I was dealt right now.
Then comes the big twist. Miss Fain announces her pregnancy, and Mr. Gator demands a DNA test. She admits she had 2 affairs around the time of conception, making the paternity even more uncertain.
You brought your girlfriend with you. She's sitting here supporting you. She's been with you for 4 years, but you got a 2-year-old son potentially with your wife.
Yeah,
now, what
right.
kind of mess is this?
You're right, hey. It was a hot mess. I agree, you know.
So, Mr. Jeter, I think this is a good opportunity and a good time to hear from your girlfriend.
Now both of them are emotionally drained. Mr. Gator tried to be supportive, but trust was shattered. Everything on the line. It's time for the DNA test to reveal the truth once and for all.
Mr. Jeter, you are the father.
Told you. I already know.
You are the father of Antoine. What do you have to say?
Now I'm hoping he can be in his son's life.
Case 3. The Carmens have been together for an incredible 27 years, but it's not all smooth sailing. Miss Carmen is here to prove that her husband is the father of their 4-year-old daughter, Ronzia, but Mr. Carmen says otherwise and claims to have proof.
Your 4-year-old daughter, Ronasia, but you plan on proving paternity today, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Carmen, you say when the DNA results reveal that you are not Ronasia's father, your marriage is over. You claim to have bombshell evidence that proves another man is the daddy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Tension fills the courtroom as Miss Carmen stands her ground. She's been dealing with this paternity question for too long and wants answers. Meanwhile, Mr. Carmen is ready to walk if the DNA test doesn't confirm he's the dad.
Yes, I love all 5 of my children by this one woman. I'm right here with this woman.
And I'm right here with you, and that's your daughter.
And I don't have no kids nowhere else. I have nobody nowhere else. And I've been doing my job in my house.
And so you are in the home together now.
We are.
You're married.
Yes, we are.
You once had, obviously, a wonderful relationship. You've been together 27 years.
Judge Lake digs into their past, revealing a once happy relationship full of love and laughter. But things took a dramatic turn separation. Wild nights in the infamous Boom Boom Room, and even a yard sale showdown. Their love story turned into a real-life soap opera.
Party house.
It's a party house.
With women.
With women.
And everything else.
And everything else.
Jerome, you been to a Boom Boom Room?
That's why they call me Jerome Boom Boom Hamilton.
I learn new things every day in this courtroom. So, Mr. Carmen, you got yourself a Boom Boom Room during the separation?
That is correct.
Mr. Carmen doesn't hold back, sharing details about his Boom Boom Room parties during their break. Miss Carmen wasn't amused, kicked him out and sold his things at a yard sale. It was messy, emotional, and unforgettable.
And I had to go and do me.
So you got yourself your own Boom Boom Room?
I got myself my own Boom Boom Room, and then he found out about it.
Hold on, you skipped the part. So during this time when you got yourself your own Boom Boom Room, how many guys were you dating?
Oh, just one, Your Honor.
Just one man?
Oh, yeah.
And just when you think it can't get any crazier, Miss Carmen admits she hired a spy. Yes, she paid $100 for someone to snoop around the Boom Boom Room and report back. Desperate times call for dramatic measures, all in the name of love.
Back together, your family's together.
That is
and
correct.
then between 3 and 4 years old, you get these text messages on your phone.
Yeah.
And the first text message says, "Thanks for being a stepdad."
No, that was the highlight of the text.
Oh, the
that,
highlight.
That was the highlight of the thanks for what? Y'all jive. Okay, so then we'll move right along. Make sure it stay up there. Step aside so Lakeisha and my cousin can be together. Blah, 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 blah. What?
As the courtroom drama peaks, emotions are raw. Miss Carmen wants to save their marriage, but Mr. Carmen refuses to stay if Ronzia isn't his. It's all riding on the DNA test. Will it heal their wounds or break their bond for good?
Carmen, you are the father. Oh, Jesus. Oh, hold on.
I told you.
Case 4 Miss Calm is here to prove that Mr. Baker is the father of her 2-year-old daughter, Breeze. She says he's been denying their child and dodging responsibility, but Mr. Baker has his own version accusing her of cheating and questioning if Breeze is really his.
You claim the defendant has been denying your 2-year-old daughter Breeze and refuses to do anything for her. You are furious and testify that you are certain he is the father and plan to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Shauna.
Mr. Baker, you claim you were a loving father for the first 1.5 years of Breeze's life until 5 months ago when you appeared in couples court and learned Miss Commons cheated.
Getting emotional, Miss Calm shares how much Breeze adores her dad. He describes their sweet little nose-rubbing routine, painting a picture of love and bonding. But Mr. Baker stays cold, focused on past infidelities and his lingering doubts.
First, he'll say, go over there to your mama. He know how my baby is affectionate. My baby got a skin fetish. She like to rub on people. So that hurt my feelings when he be like, go to your mama. And she be like, I want you. And he be just saying, go to your mama. Go to your mama. Why are you telling her to go to her mother and she wants you? She knows what she wants. It makes me emotional because she loves us. Like, she rubs our face, she rubs our ears, the way she rubs his face, they got this little nose thing that they do.
Tension builds as Miss Calm recalls telling Mr. Baker about her pregnancy. She hoped he'd step up as a father, but everything changed when she admitted she'd been unfaithful. That's when Mr. Baker's suspicions about paternity took root.
All right, listen. Take me to the point you find out she's pregnant with Breeze. When you find out she's pregnant, do you accept it? How does she tell you?
Like, when she told me she was pregnant with Breeze,
we found out together.
I was like, is she mad? You feel me? How you know that? You've been messing with other guys, you feel me? Which I noticed and don't caught it and seen it on numerous occasions. And I was like, well, I don't know, but if she is mad, you feel me? I'm gonna be there for you. I do want to be a good father to my kids.
Then comes a bombshell Mr. Baker talks about a weekend test, pretended to be uninterested just to see how Miss Calm would react, while secretly planning to catch her in a lie. It's all starting to feel more like a game than a relationship.
How could you explain a good night? Because she sat there and said, I cheated. Oh, it's a good night.
You didn't leave the room?
Where's the good night at?
He didn't leave the room, did he?
It was painful.
He still slept with me that night.
Okay, hold on.
Still drunk?
You feel me?
Right. So you told her about the situation.
Miss Calm fires back, calling out Mr. Baker's behavior and the mind games he's played. She's hurt and frustrated, questioning why the man she once loved would go to such lengths instead of trusting her.
Say she dropped the bomb, number 2, which was that she had slept with somebody else.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
We chilling in the hot tub, jacuzzi and everything, and after Blue just came, I cheated. Hold on.
No, that's not what happened. I can tell you exactly what happened.
She like, I cheated, I stepped out. So I'm looking like, when you do it? I asked her, like, when? She talking about, I don't even remember what date, but it was too close to when Breeze.
The hearing continues. Emotions run high. Ms. Calm stands by her claim that Mr. Baker is Breeze's father, while he stays firm in his denial. The DNA test is the only thing that can settle this once and for all.
Y'all's in that little tit-for-tat mess. I say it all the time, it never works. And we as women, we never win.
Never.
Because we always end up with the baby. And it's always our baby and Papa's what?
Maybe.
Yep. We gotta stop playing that game. We don't win. We lose, our babies lose. Why play? So we're here.
Now the moment of truth is here. Will the test confirm Mr. Baker as Breeze's father, or will Miss Calm's worst fear be realized? The courtroom is holding its breath, waiting for the final word.
Mr. Baker, you are the father.
Get a hug. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy with the result.
Case 5. We've seen plenty of cheaters in court today. Mr. Walls says Miss Walker takes the cake. He claims she's a serial cheater and says he caught her red-handed not long after they briefly broke up. Things are about to get seriously heated.
Short time away from Ms. Walker, you caught her with someone else's hands in her cookie jar.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you say Ms. Walker is a serial cheater and there is no way you are her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Additionally, Mr. Walls, you claim you lent Ms. Walker your car to help her with her child child, and she never gave it back, so you are suing her for $2,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
On top of the cheating accusations, Mr. Walls says Miss Walker borrowed his car to help with her child and never returned it. Now, he's suing her for $2,500, adding even more fire to this already explosive case.
I started going out there, spending time by the water. I felt it was romantic, and
so, Miss Walker?
Yes, Your Honor.
He seemed like he was a gentleman courting you. You went out with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
It was a good relationship at first?
It was good in the beginning until I found out I was pregnant. When I found out I was pregnant, I told him, but he talking about he wanted a DNA test. He said that he saw me in the car with another guy.
Miss Walker isn't backing down. She calls Mr. Walls a smooth-talking liar and insists he's the father of her 3-year-old daughter, Adriana. She's in court today to prove it once and for all.
When she told you she was pregnant and it was your child, you had doubt.
Yeah.
Your Honor, when I told him I was pregnant, and he has said, well, I need to take a DNA test because he said he didn't trust me.
But she admitted to cheating, though. Because when I was gone for them 30 days, she admitted to cheating.
Did you admit to cheating?
No, Your Honor.
As the judge digs deeper, we learn their relationship had a sweet start. Mr. Walls tried hard to win her over, eventually scoring romantic dates by the water. But that fairy tale took a sharp turn when Miss Walker revealed she was pregnant.
I'm glad you said it and not me. No, seriously though. So the point is you thought she meant I'm dating someone else.
Yeah, she had to been because, when I come up her street one day, I'm in a different car, I come up her street one day and I see this blue Crown Victoria parked in front of her house. I see 2 silhouettes in the car. I seen a silhouette.
Is this what you brought? You brought an exhibit over here?
That's what that is.
Miss Walker says Mr. Walls didn't take the news well. Instead of celebrating, he demanded a DNA test, claiming he saw her with another man around the time of conception. Cue the courtroom drum.
Leaning over kissing the guy.
Step back over to the podium, sir. Thank you for that description.
Number one, Your Honor, the car wasn't in the driveway. The car was in front of my house. And he told me.
So you admit it. Right here, the car was in front of your house.
Right, in front
and you was
of
in the
my
car,
house.
right?
I admit that, but I'm not about to admit that I
I
was cheating because I was not cheating when I got.
Was there a man in the car?
Yes, was.
Mr. Walls sticks to his story. He claims Miss Walker confessed to cheating while he was away for 30 days. He's convinced the math doesn't add up and that he can't possibly be Adriana's dad.
I'm kind of complicated, but I was working it out.
You were in transition.
We can call it that.
Okay. So bottom line is you weren't really claiming either woman.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But Your Honor, he was.
But you just making circles around her house 3 times checking to see what she doing.
Well, see, she said she's pregnant by me. I was just making sure her well-being was okay.
Miss Walker fires back, denying the affair. She says the man Mr. Walls saw was just a family member and insists the entire situation has been blown way out of proportion. The back and forth is intense.
On the birth certificate.
Why I wasn't at the birth?
His name
Let's not get there.
No.
Let's not get there while I wasn't at the birth. Let's get that together.
He came after I had a baby. He came at 7 o'clock that night.
You called me 7 o'clock that day.
No.
Your Honor, this woman called me. She called me and said, I had the baby. I said, when did you have the baby? She said, yesterday. I said, Dominique, it's 7 o'clock.
I was in
7 o'clock. She didn't call me till the next day.
He was ready, Miss Walker. Why didn't you call him?
I called him.
Both sides dig in their heels. Mr. Walls won't let go of the serial cheater label, while Miss Walker stands firm that he's Adriana's biological father. Judge has her work cut out for her in this showdown.
And one thing leads to the next. I'm on the pool table.
Oh, was
we did not use
operating hours?
Huh?
No,
it wasn't.
No, the club that I had belonged to, as a member, you can have a key to the bar.
Okay, the baby was conceived on the corner pocket. So, any other doubt that you've left out?
All my other kids, I had symptoms. You know what I'm saying? I woke up, I'm feeling like I'm puking up a little bit. I'm feeling a little nauseous.
As the case comes to a head, Mr. Walls drops new evidence. He claims he saw a mystery car parked outside Miss Walker's home, 2 silhouettes inside, and one of them wasn't him. He says it's the proof he needed.
Closeness or their cohabitation with the woman. So they may feel it more if they live with the woman or if they identify more with the pregnancy.
And you all weren't living together when she was pregnant, right?
Right.
What bearing does it have on paternity? Any?
No, I'm sorry. No, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, Mr. Walls.
I mean,
Mr. Walls, for your other 5 children, were you living with the mother at that time?
Now, the courtroom holds its breath. The judge is about to reveal the DNA results. Will the truth finally come out, or will this case end in even more questions than answers?
You are not her father. Ms. Walker, I gave you an opportunity. At least 5.
Well, I apologize. I'm sorry.
3 years. 3 years. Do you know who her father is?
Where was you all your life?
I never wanted to be this person, Your Honor. They want to compete with a man, and these men are running all over the place, and it's wrong. It's wrong all day long. However, when you understand...
My daughter doesn't care who she hurts at all. She's a very cold-hearted person, and she just does not care who she hurts.
Have you lied to her about her father?
If something bad happened to me, Your Honor, I would want to drink. Something good happened to me, Your Honor, I would want to drink.
So let's get one thing straight. You know you can't drink your problem.
Miss Kavanaugh is in court today with her mother, trying to prove the paternity of her 3-year-old son, Malcolm. They both claim that Mr. Bowl is the father, but Miss Kavanaugh admits another man, Mr. Meliat, could also be Malcolm's dad.
Your Honor, I believe Mr. Bowles is my son's father. Even though we wasn't in a committed relationship, we had unprotected sex frequently, and he has not been around. He doesn't ask about my son. He probably didn't even know my son's name was Malcolm until now. And I'm just ready to prove that he is the father.
It's already a messy situation when one potential father doesn't even know the child's name. Mr. Bowl seems absolutely certain he's not the father, but it's unclear what makes him so confident.
How can you be so sure that you're not?
That's because when we first met the first night, we had sex within like 20 minutes of being in her house.
It wasn't within 20 minutes.
And then like probably 3 weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, I found like an open condom wrapper in her bathroom.
Well,
she had already said that
just because
like, I was the only person she was having sex with, and so then I found
just
the
because
wrapper.
I had sex with him on the first night doesn't mean I have sex with everybody on the first night. I actually cared for him.
Miss Kavanaugh defends herself, saying an open condom wrapper found wasn't hers, but belonged to her friend and her boyfriend. Mr. Bowl disagrees, claiming she told him she used those condoms with her ex.
When you find out, who do you tell?
Your Honor, I told him. I told Mr. Bowles because that's who I believed was the father. It was the right date, right conception time. But I did have one sexual encounter with Mr. McElliott, and it was only because I wanted to be in a serious relationship with Mr. Bowles. And I felt like he didn't respect me and didn't care about my feelings. So yes, I did have one encounter with Mr. McElliott.
Trying to make someone jealous by sleeping with someone else is never a good idea. Yet it's exactly what led Miss Kavanaugh here. These choices landed her in paternity court with more drama than clarity.
Before she got pregnant, she actually lied about being pregnant maybe like some weeks before. She lied about it.
That is true. The way that I found out that I was truly pregnant with my son is because I was very childish when I was talking to Mr. Bowles. Like, I really cared about him, and I desperately wanted him to care about me because we were with each other basically every other night.
Getting pregnant in hopes of building a relationship rarely works, but Miss Kavanaugh apparently believed it would. Unfortunately, she learned too late that a baby doesn't guarantee love or commitment.
So you had a plan to pretend you were pregnant in order to keep him. And then what happened?
Well, I took both of the tests, Your Honor, and I went to go eat, and I came back and they were both positive.
Her plan backfired. Shay got the baby, but not the relationship. Mr. Bowl didn't stick around, and now she's left trying to prove he's Malcolm's father.
Like, when I was pretending to be pregnant or trying to be pregnant, I don't think I understand fully the responsibility that I do now.
Yes.
So
because it's a lot of responsibility,
yes,
isn't it?
It's hard.
And I'm very proud of her. She's really stepped up.
Now, it's Mr. Meliat's turn to speak. He says he wants to be Malcolm's father because he genuinely loves Miss Kavanaugh, unlike Mr. Bowl, who wants nothing to do with her.
Kavanaugh, I would say, is a very special one. Me and her, we met. I got her number. I called her that evening, offered her for a movie. We hooked up and went out to eat or something like that. But ever since...
So you took her on dates and courted her and treated her like a lady should be treated?
Always.
That contrast is striking. One man hoping to be the father, another praying he's not. The first DNA result comes in, and it's for Mr. Meliat.
Mr. McElliott, you are not his father. Mr. Bowles, you are not his father. Calm down.
So who is Malcolm's father? To find that out, it turns out we need to follow Miss Kavanaugh to yet another appearance on Paternity Court. The story isn't over just yet.
I need to put you guys through all that.
I am hoping that you still pursue Malcolm's biological father. Do you know who that is? Is it that third person, or do you not know?
It's the third person.
Miss Kavanaugh is back in court again, this time with Mr. Spence, to continue the search for her son Malcolm's biological father. Mr. Spence Spence, a longtime friend of Miss Kavanaugh's mother, admits he had intercourse with Miss Kavanaugh once after she repeatedly pursued him.
Kavanaugh.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your mother's friend?
Yes, Your Honor. I know how bad it sounds. It is bad. I started calling him up, asking for like rides, to the grocery store, to get stuff from my house. And like subconsciously, I was trying to try to seduce him. I was wearing inappropriate things around him.
And why were you doing this?
In all honesty, I was drinking a lot. And I don't know if I did it for like, a challenge or because I was wanting attention. It was just...
At least Miss Kavanaugh seems to understand the depth of the situation she's in. Mr. Spence claims there was no overlap. He wasn't romantically involved with both mother and daughter, just the daughter.
It was like she said, came over a couple of times. She was in inappropriate gear. First time, I shunned it off. Second time, I said, hey, watch yourself. Third time, it's starting to look good.
The real shock here is that this is the third paternity test for Malcolm. Mr. Spence says they were intimate just once, which would make it pretty unbelievable if he's the father, but stranger things have happened.
Hi, Miss Kavanaugh.
Your Honor, I do not believe it to be once. It was at least twice, but how I remember.
Miss Kavanaugh says Malcolm might look like Mr. Spence, but she's not sure. Smart move, because if the previous two men weren't the father, and Mr. Spence isn't either, that would suggest there were even more possible candidates.
I thought Mr. Bowles was the dad. Well, after the court, I started thinking, well, he could be a possibility that Mr. Spence is the father. And I texted him, and I asked him, when was the last time we had sex? He told me it was the end of October.
And when was Malcolm born?
He was born July 9th.
So when you do the math on that, that's...
If Mr. Spence isn't the father, then Miss Kavanaugh might have to admit there were additional partners. That would make 4 potential fathers for 1 child, which is incredibly messy and raises serious questions.
It was very devastating, just because the relationship was inappropriate. I felt betrayed. Actually, when we were together, like all in the same room, I noticed them looking at each other a little differently.
Miss Kavanaugh's mother, Mitchell Kavanaugh, is also in court today. She says she felt betrayed after learning her close friend slept with her Dotrande. That's completely understandable.
I do admit that I did come on to him, and it was probably really a strong come on.
You did admit that in court.
But he is a grown man.
Apparently, she confronted them about it because she noticed chemistry between the two. But both Mr. Spence and Miss Kavanaugh denied anything happened at the time. Clearly, they weren't being honest.
So, Mr. Spence, let me ask you this. Are you in a relationship?
I'm married.
Okay. Now I do understand why you're hoping he's not your child.
That's not what I'm hoping.
What are you hoping?
I hope for the truth.
Miss Kavanaugh says she shouldn't take all the blame, and that's fair to an extent. But in these cases, it's usually the woman who ends up bearing the brunt of the consequences emotionally, socially, and legally.
She told you?
Yes.
What did she say?
Sleeping with other people. I got a boyfriend.
Oh.
Which was Mr. Bowles at the time, Your Honor.
Understood.
Yeah.
But we also know that there was Mr. Scott, too.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah,
he's been tested and he's here.
Mr. Spence doesn't get a free pass either. He could have said no, knowing the consequences. Still, he's now here in court, facing the very real possibility that he might be Malcolm's father.
It was during the window of conception. Do you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
You were not using protection?
I use protection every time. I don't recall, not using protection.
So you don't recall. Now, she says there was an instance when you did not, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say there was no instance?
No, ma'am. I strongly, I don't believe that, Malcolm is mine.
You don't?
I don't.
But the plot thickens, Mr. Spence isn't the only remaining possible father. There's also another man, Mr. Scott, who could be Malcolm's dad.
So these are the last 2 possibilities, Miss Kavanaugh?
There's one more, Your Honor.
We're all hoping that today's court session finally gives Miss Kavanaugh and Malcolm some closure. Let's see what the DNA test says about Mr. Spence.
Mr. Scott, you are not his father.
Well, that result didn't go the way she hoped. Mr. Spence is not the father. One more test left to go. Let's hope.
Mr. Spence, you are not his father. Miss Kavanaugh, we back here again. I know this isn't where you wanted to be.
I never wanted to be this person, Your Honor.
You know what? Look. Yes, you've done some things you're not proud of.
And Miss Satan is in court today because she believes her mother lied to her for years about who her real father is. She grew up thinking one man was her dad, but now believes that Mr. Bryson, not her mother's ex-husband, is actually her biological father.
Your Honor,
I just want to start by saying I haven't seen her talk to this woman in 5 years, almost 5 years. The reason that I haven't seen her talk to her in almost 5 years is because she's a liar. I was raised to think that a man named Jesse Seaton was my biological father. He signed my birth certificate, he cut my umbilical cord, and he was awesome. I have since found out that there was another possibility that Mr. Bryson could be my father.
Miss MCP, her mother, strongly denies this and insists that her ex-husband is Miss Satan's real father. She claims her daughter is wrong and has been misled, but the tension between them is obvious, and it's been 5 years since they've even spoken.
Care who she hurts at all. She's a very cold-hearted person, and she just does not care who she hurts.
Have you lied to her about her father?
No. They could have had DNA when I had her, but Jesse and them all didn't want DNA. So evidently he must have thought he was the father because he didn't want no DNA.
Miss Satan says she didn't go looking for this information that came to her. She found out from family letters and hospital records that pointed to Mr. Bryson being her biological father. Her mother's response? More denial and name-calling.
Back in 2011, I had complications and I needed a blood transfusion. My mom was supposed to make it to the hospital. She never showed up, whatever the reason was. So my grandmother and my Uncle Paul had both donated blood for the blood transfusion, and it came out that they were not. Either one of them wasn't a match, so they couldn't give me the blood.
Miss MCP keeps calling her daughter a liar, but that's not really an argument. Letters from her own grandmother say she was already pregnant with Mr. Bryson's child when she started dating Jesse Satan. That's pretty damning, if true.
She's a liar. She always has been. She does whatever she can to hurt anybody. She doesn't have a heart at all.
But is she lying about the hospital saying there's not a match?
Yes, she is. Liar.
Your Honor, I would just like to say my grandmother did submit a statement if you would like to.
You can feel the emotional weight in the courtroom. If Miss Satan is right and Mr. Bryson really is her father, then Miss MC Peak will be exposed for hiding the truth for decades. It's a big moment that could change everything.
She's just as big a liar as her granddaughter. Plain and simple. She never thought that I was good enough for her son. He could have had DNA at that time, and he didn't want DNA. He said he was 100% sure it was his. And ever since Jessica's been old enough to talk, maybe kindergarten, she's been nothing but an habitual liar.
Mr. Bryson backs up Miss Satan's claims. He says Miss MCP personally told him years ago that she was pregnant with his child, not Jesse Satan's. If that's true, then the story Miss MC Peak has been telling doesn't hold up at all.
However, had told me on more than one occasion that she had DNA done between me and Mr. Seaton. She also told my grandmother Karen, and when asked about the result, I contacted our local DNA centers and did some research, and they have no DNA.
But Miss MC Peak isn't backing down. She says everyone is lying and ganging up on her, including her own daughter and Mr. Bryson. At this point, it's one word against another, but the DNA doesn't lie.
You believe you are Miss Seaton's, Jessica's biological father?
Yes, I can guarantee you, Your Honor.
You do?
Oh, yes.
Why do you believe that?
Look at her. She looks like my other daughter. I guarantee you the money I got in my pocket, she's mine. Secondly, the grandmother, Jesse's mother, told me if she's between the ages of 6 and 10, that she knew that that was my daughter, not her son.
2 DNA tests were ordered to get to the truth. One was a comparison between Miss Satan and her supposed Uncle Jesse Satan's brother. The other was between Miss Satan and Mr. Bryson.
The only one she was having?
Oh, no, Your Honor. There were several other men she had been with. I found this out later on. But, you know, it's
How many men did you find out she was with?
4. But, you know, it's the kind of thing, without being rude to anybody and anybody taking anything offensively, there are those people that need multiple men for multiple things.
The moment of truth is here. Now it's up to the DNA to reveal whether Miss MC Peak is hiding a lifelong lie or if Miss Satan is wrong about the identity of her father. Let's hear the result.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Bryson.
Where was you all your life?
You lie. I never once.
It's okay. Just hug your daughter.
Okay. Told you.
Arthur Ellis and Eugene Ellis have brought their mother, Miss Shivers, to court today to uncover the truth about their paternity. They recently discovered that Miss Shivers had slept with both their father and his brother, making it possible that their uncle might actually be their biological father.
We were at a family gathering, you know, just having some drinks or whatever, and Uncle Ronnie came up to me and said, "You know, I'm your son. You know, you my son, right? You know, so
Yeah, it was basically like a family get-together. It was a family function. You know how people get when they, indulge or whatnot. I guess he overindulged and the truth came to light.
Miss Shivers admits to being with both brothers and says she did it out of desperation, having nowhere else to turn. Arthur believes he's his uncle's son, while Eugene points out that their father always treated Arthur differently, possibly hinting at the truth.
He didn't even write me that much when I was in jail, but he wrote him, send him money, so that made me feel some type of way as well,
Unfortunately, we had to take a trip down the road, and my father, he wrote me more than he did my brother. You don't do that if that's your child. You're supposed to be there through thick and thin like my mom. I heard from her every day of, that place or that situation.
That's heartbreaking, especially for Arthur, who spent his life unsure why he was treated differently. Meanwhile, Ronnie, unless the uncle has, always been more affectionate toward Arthur, while Eugene still firmly believes he knows who his father is.
Look at me, and you look at my dad. If you had a full body shot of my dad, I'm slim like my dad. I'm built like my dad. My features like my dad. Arthur is big. He's a big guy right here. Uncle Ronnie is big. That's a big guy right there. They broad. I'm skinny. I'm slim.
Well,
His hair is different from my hair. If we got the same dad, okay, wouldn't you think that his texture of his hair would come out the same as mine?
However, Miss Shivers isn't as sure. She openly admits to having doubts about who Eugene's biological father is, leaving Eugene in shock. He learns this in real time, right in the courtroom.
I was married to another man before I left and went to Detroit, and that's when I got pregnant with Eugene, so.
Do you feel there are reasonable, credible doubts as it relates to Eugene as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a lot to take in, but hopefully testimony from Ronnie Ellis can help clear things up. He might be the missing puzzle piece that brings some clarity to the Ellis family mystery.
And could be your biological child.
My brother had put her and Eugene out, and they came back to Chicago and lived with me. And while they were living with me, she said we only had sex once. She must have meant we only had sex once sober. You hear me? That's what she must have meant, because she can't even remember the first time,
But you remember.
Oh boy.
Really? No more details needed.
As it stands, the two possible fathers for Arthur are Ronnie Ellis and the late John Ellis. But in a surprise twist, a man nicknamed Cool Breeze is mentioned, bringing in a third possible candidate for Arthur's paternity.
Respectfully, are there any other possible fathers?
I met him when I was waitressing in the restaurant, and he ran a big hotel, and he also, gave me jobs and stuff. That's when Eugene was like about 4 or 5. We had a couple of little nights, where we had a few drinks and we did have intimacy.
For Eugene, it comes down to either John Ellis or Ronnie Ellis. The court has decided to check the DNA results for Eugene first to get some answers for him.
Case of Eugene Ellis, John Ellis is your biological father. John Ellis is your father.
I knew that. I said that from the beginning. I knew that.
Now it's time to reveal the results for Arthur. Will it be John, Ronnie, or someone completely unexpected like Cool Breeze?
His brother, Ronald McClellan, is your biological father. It has been determined by this court. John Ellis is your father.
It's all right. I told you boys the truth.
So, gentlemen, you have the truth.
Want to know if Iyana's my granddaughter.
And if she is, are you hoping for a grandmother-granddaughter relationship? Do you want to be
I'm gonna be
in her
honest
life?
with you. I don't even know if we can go there.
When DNA results finally came in, the courtroom fell silent. What followed shocked everyone present.
Angela Monroe and Iyana Monroe is 99.98%.
Case 2, get ready, because today's episode of Paternity Court was a wild ride. The Brown Ramirez versus Wayne case had everyone, audience, judge, and even Jero was shocked.
Brown Ramirez, you are here in court today because you say you're hoping to save your 10-year relationship with the defendant.
Moment, Miss Brown Ramirez admitted to cheating during one of their breakups. She said, "I lied, but I told the truth now." Mr. Wayne looked absolutely crushed. The courtroom was tense. Mr. Wayne's love for the kids clashed with the betrayal he felt from her confession. Yet, Judge Lake took the 4-year-old's results to her chambers, saving the second shock for later. Would this family crumble or finally find peace?
You are his father, okay? But he did.
Case 3. This case is a total roller coaster, Miss NAD is caught in a messy love triangle between two lifelong best friends. She's unsure which of them is the father of her 2-year-old son, Cameron. Talk about awkward.
Nato, you confess you are caught in the middle of two lifelong best friends because you slept with the 2-year-old Cameron's biological father. Now, Mr. Santilli, you admit it's taken you 2 years to mend your broken heart since Ms. Nato revealed to you on Christmas Eve she'd slept with best friend.
Mr. Santilli had his heart broken when Miss NAD confessed on Christmas Eve she'd slept with his best friend, Mr. Zara. Even worse, Cameron might not be his son after all.
Break down. It's been over 1.5 years. I had to convince my 4-year-old how he doesn't have a younger brother no more. I had to convince myself that he wasn't my son.
Goodness. So, Ms. Nato, what happened?
His grandfather was sick and passing away. And he decided in a text message he was going to tell me that I was too good for him. We needed to break up, that I needed to focus on me. He was just going to bring me down.
The emotional damage was deep, Mr. Tilly had to explain to his 4-year-old that Cameron might not be his little brother. The alleged other dad, Mr. Zara, he hasn't even entered the courtroom yet.
During this time, when you were going through all of this and mourning your grandfather, you feel like Ms. Nato was intimate with your best friend.
I had no idea at the time.
I was stuck by his side the whole time.
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
But at some point,
and who did you come to the wake and funeral
I came with him.
Things got real complicated when Miss NAD revealed she and Mr. Zara hooked up the night his grandfather died. He drank, mourned, and made a big mistake. Then she showed up to the funeral with him.
No, because if I mattered so much to him and it was so important, he wouldn't have left for the girl upstairs.
All right, so Jerome, I think it's time to talk to Mr. Zara. Please escort him in the courtroom.
Go ahead and take a seat for me. Watch your step.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Zara. Thank you for joining us today. I have to ask you, how do you end up sleeping with your best friend's girl?
He told me specifically in his house, yo, I don't care about this girl. I have another girlfriend. He just sit there and lie.
Adding fuel to the fire, Mr. Santilli says Miss NAD once told him she was too good for him, yet somehow she ended up with his best friend. And then Mr. Zara claimed Mr. Santilli told him to do it. Total bro code betrayal.
Them words never left my lips.
Yes, they did. I was saying right to yes. You said they're adults, let them sleep together if they want to sleep together.
As my brother, you should have known that. You could do it.
After everything either way, regardless.
Don't matter, man.
So hold on.
16 years I've known you. 16 years.
As the tension built, two ex-best friends faced off in court. Zara said, "You told me to do it," and the whole courtroom could feel the drama exploding.
So hold on, Mr. Santilli, let me ask you this. When you found out Ms. Nato was pregnant?
At first, I did not believe the child was mine. No, I denied it to the fullest, yes. At first.
Did you know she
No, I
had
did not
already
know.
slept
I did not
with
know
Mr.
that they were sleeping
Zara?
together. Kayla came out right on the porch and said, "Yeah, we did. He's lying to you." And the only reason why I denied it to him was because his grandfather.
But then came a tender twist photos of Mr. Santilli cutting Cameron's umbilical cord and signing the birth certificate. Miss NAD swore Cameron looks just like Zara, and honestly, the resemblance was wild.
It happened.
At what point did you come to believe this child is mine?
After a few weeks of both of them promising that the child was mine. Months of them promising that the kid
I was
mine.
about 5 or 6 months pregnant, and he texted me and said that he wanted something to do with the baby and that he wanted to try to be together for him.
So, during the birth of the child, which one was with you?
Meanwhile, Mr. Zara is getting pressure from all sides, including his own mom, who's convinced Cameron is her grandson. But he's torn, unsure if he was tricked into the role of father.
He thinks that's his dad. He spent sun up to sundown with him for the last 1.5 years of his life. When he sees pictures of him, he calls him daddy. When he sees pictures of him, he says Dino.
These are the exact types of consequence that paternity issue caused.
Finally, the moment everyone waited for the DNA results. Judge in hand, eyes wide, the room fell silent. Would it be Santilli, the devastated ex, or Zara, the unexpected dad?
Comes to 2-year-old Cameron Santilli, and whether his biological father is Mr. Santilli or Mr. Zara. That Cameron's biological father is Mr. Santilli. You okay? Stand up, sweetie. Talk to me. Mr. Santilli? Tears of joy? Relief?
You did.
Case 4, everything was riding on the DNA test result. Miss Walton came to court not because she was pregnant, but to prove that her 9-month-old baby belonged to Mr. D or not, another man she'd been with.
You're here to prove he's also the biological father of your 9-month-old son, King.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you confess Mr. Deaver discovered you were cheating on him, but say you have proved B, your son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Deaver, you claim the truth about Ms. Walton's cheating only surfaced because you went through her cell phone while she was sleeping.
Mr. Dayer wasn't buying it. He accused Miss Walton of sleeping with one of his childhood friends and claimed he found proof on her phone that she'd been cheating for a while.
Your Honor, he does. My cheating was due to his infidelity. I may have messed up, but the guy that I messed with, I never had sex with him unprotected, so it was never any unprotected sex. Also, the time of conception, I did not mess with that guy.
When guys are having sex, because I'm a male myself and I know how it go, you can initially put the condom on, but you know, while you're having
Your Honor,
sex,
I wouldn't know if I had sex
they
there.
can
I would
slip
know
the
that.
condom on.
When the judge asked directly if there was any doubt the baby was his, Miss Walton's guilty expression said it all. She admitted she was intimate with someone else, but the reason was jaw-dropping.
But then she retaliated, had sex with a person you say was your childhood friend or someone you knew?
Yes, having sex with a guy that I knew for years. I mean, we was always together, yes, and other guys that I know of.
Other guys?
Oh, other guys.
Yeah.
So you think it's more than one guy?
That can possibly be his father. I'm not gonna say that, but me knowing her having sex with other guys besides that one, yes.
Turns out, Miss Walton said it was revenge. She claimed Mr. Dayor cheated first, and she never forgave him. So, her way of dealing with the pain, sleep with someone else out of spite.
I'm trying to confuse him. When I told him I had sex with the other guy besides the other one, I actually
the other guy besides the other one.
See what I mean?
I actually told him. He went through my phone once and found out about one guy. The other guy I told him about verbally. He didn't have to go through my phone and find it out, and I didn't do it in a joking manner or anything. I told him verbally I had sex with this guy.
Well, you used protection with both men.
Yes.
That's what she said, but you like.
I've never
you can't
had
believe her.
unprotected
If she
sex
would
with
fake a
anybody but
pregnancy.
Mr. Dayer didn't take that lightly. He admitted to snooping through her phone while she slept and discovered she had been involved with multiple men. No wonder he doubted the baby was his.
Manipulated a pregnancy test, Miss Deaver?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I wanted him to feel the exact way I felt when he did all the things that he did to me. He's cheated on me numerous times with numerous women. Women I did not like, women I did like, people I thought I was cool with, and he didn't stop there. It's been numerous of sex.
I had no idea.
So you said you were going to get back at him by telling him you were pregnant?
Yes, I wanted him to suffer the way I did.
Why would that be a suffering?
Just when you think it couldn't get worse, Miss Walton allegedly faked a pregnancy test using another woman's urine. That revelation stunned the courtroom, left everyone speechless.
Entire time.
No.
The whole entire time I've been in his life. The whole entire time. That's not, yeah.
Only when we're together is when he's involved.
That's not true, because whenever we are not together,
you don't do anything.
She doesn't communicate with me, so I don't know what he needs. But her
I shouldn't have to tell you.
Her mother ends up telling me, you know, that he needs this and needs that, and I go get it every single time. I've never said no, never.
Despite everything, Mr. Dayor had still tried to be a father, but Miss Walton claimed he only showed up when it was convenient. Finally, it was time for the DNA results, and everyone held their breath.
That Mr. Deaver, you are his father.
I know. Never heard.
How do you feel, Miss Walton?
I'm happy, but I already knew. He had doubts, but I knew.
Just one seed of doubt, right? Can grow and grow.
Case 5, Miss Manship had been searching for her real father for years. At just 10 years old, she received heartbreaking news that the man she called dad wasn't her biological father.
Ms. Manship, at the age of 10, you were shocked and devastated to learn that your dad was not your biological father. That began your 20-year search to find the man your mother claims is your father. After your exhaustive search to find him, you came up with nothing. Well, Ms. Manship, this court has located him.
She remembered that moment vividly, like it was yesterday. A DNA test shattered her world and led to her being cut off by the man who raised her.
I was 10. I believed that my brother's father was my father. And then they had a DNA test done, and it came back that he was not my father. And that made him really angry. So he stopped letting me come over to his house.
And you remember this rejection?
I do.
And so, how did your mother tell you that Mr. Law was your biological father.
All she had to guide her search was a name and a photo. Her mother, years ago, had an affair that led to Miss Manship's birth and the mystery surrounding her father.
About searching for somebody that you know nothing about, that all you have is a name and a picture. And he would give me, small details of what he could tell me.
What did you do?
I would go do people searches online. Back whenever they had like the Yahoo chat rooms, I would go to the state that she told me he was from, which was Little Rock, Arkansas. I would go in there and I'd mention his name and say, does anybody know this?
Eventually, her search led to a man named Mr. Love. He was brought to court completely unaware of Miss Manship or the possibility he had a daughter.
When is the first time you heard about her?
When the court contacted me just recently.
You never knew she existed?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
But you did have a relationship with Ms. Lutman, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You remember that?
30 years
I have
ago,
to
yes.
ask you, is this you in this photo?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is you.
When asked when he first heard of her, Mr. Lopp said it was only when the court reached out. His confusion was real. He had no idea she even existed.
Everywhere. I've searched phone books, I've searched online, I've asked people, and I've never had a response from anybody in the past 20 years. Nobody has ever given me even a single detail of where he's from or where he lives, if he has any family. I don't know anything.
And you've never gotten one lead?
Not one.
You had no hope until this court tracked him down?
Yes.
The courtroom quickly turned emotional. Tears flowed from both Mr. Lopp and Miss Manship. She was relieved this could be her real father, but scared it could all be another dead end.
She had picked me up hitchhiking across town, and we were both cutting up, having fun, and ended up hanging out for the day. And I think shortly after that, maybe after a couple of months, we had rented an apartment.
Were you boyfriend and girlfriend? You rented an apartment together?
Yes, Your Honor. And I believe she had an ex-boyfriend that wasn't happy about the situation.
Mr. Lopp was stunned to learn he might have a daughter. He said no one ever contacted him before, and he had no clue someone had been searching for him all this time.
Have two men fighting over you?
Well, I only wanted to keep one.
You did?
I was really happy.
You were very happy with Mr. Law?
The ex didn't want to stay out of the picture.
So tell me what happened when you got pregnant.
He said he had to get back to Arkansas and take care of business. Me and my ex got back together, and about a month later...
Miss Manship's mother explained she had been involved with both Mr. Lopp and another man. There was jealousy, tension, and a relationship torn apart by conflict.
In the bedroom, and both of them were crashed out in the bedroom. And I guess that's probably what threw the towel in for me. But I thought that I was in town for at least about 6 months after that.
So you caught her and her ex together?
All right, they were both asleep in the bed. I don't know what...
Okay, but they were asleep in the bed, and then that's what made you decide to cut it off, to be done with the relationship.
According to Mr. Lopp, once walked in on her and her ex-boyfriend together and assumed she chose someone else. So he walked away for good, thinking she had moved on.
I didn't believe it. I figured it probably was a mistake, mainly because the fact that she knew quite a few people. She had a lot of male friends and been married 4 times. First marriage was 12 years, and I didn't have any children. Second marriage was 2 years, still no children. 6-month marriage after that, and still no children. Then 8-year marriage after that without any children.
Now, after years of silence and searching, it was time for answers. The courtroom held its breath. Was Mr. Lopp really her biological father, or would Miss Manship's journey continue?
Mr. Lopp, you are the father. How do you feel, Mr. Lopp?
Pretty happy.
So you got one beautiful daughter.
That's why I was pregnant.
Take care of my other 2, and I'm gonna take care of my 3rd.
Yes, I am a sex addict, but only with the person I am in a relationship with. What was him?
Toya is a hoe.
Did I just say use respectful language in the court?
I'm sorry, but that's just what it is.
No.
You got 2 kids before her. You should know how to do all this.
You could have twins with 2 different fathers.
This mother is confident that Mr. Hudson is the only possible father of her child, even though she admitted to cheating on him. But once paternity doubts start creeping in, it's hard to turn back.
You to believe you were her son, Jacory's biological father, then dropped a bomb and admitted she slept with someone else.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're in court to prove you are not her son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bridges, you admit to sleeping with another man, but claim that you have no doubt Mr. Hudson is your child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
The cheating happened out of spite. Classic case of revenge after feeling unappreciated. But what was supposed to be a one-time act now has lifelong consequences. A baby born from a wild night.
And so, Mr. Hudson, you say this bomb she dropped. When did she drop this bomb?
We had an argument, and that's when she came and she was telling me how I might not be the father and she had done these things. But I paid no attention to them because I am the father. I'm supposed to be the father. I'm here.
He was cheating on me back then, so that's the reason why I did what I did. So yes, I say he might not be the father, but I know he's the father of Jacory Hudson.
Despite everything, the mother insists Mr. Hudson is the father based on emotion and connection. But feelings aren't facts, and just being there for the child doesn't make him the biological daddy.
You understand that him being there has nothing to do with the biology.
Yes.
You do understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you admitted you slept with someone else.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, even in my time of deception, still stood there and took care of him.
Are you talking about the time of deception, meaning when you were deceiving her or she was deceiving you? Because both of you all had time of deception.
Then enters Mr. Davis, who discovered baby Jacory's existence through Facebook. Since the timeline was fuzzy, even he agreed a paternity test was necessary to clear the air.
Bridges met, we hung out for a couple of months. We ended up having unprotected sex around about 3 times. I didn't know that she was pregnant at all until I looked on Facebook one day, like a year later, and I see a picture of her son. And immediately I think her son looks like my nephew. About a year after that, she came to me. She's like, oh, well, can you tell me the days that
So both men are open to stepping up as a father, but uncertainty is tearing everyone apart. And sadly, baby Jacory is stuck in the middle of this emotional tug-of-war. It's time to uncover the truth once and for all.
Mr. Hudson, you are not his father. Mr. Davis, you are not his father.
Mr. Lewis found himself deep in a paternity mess, all thanks to the alleged manipulation and promiscuity of his girlfriend, who refused to believe a word she said for him. Only a DNA test could bring clarity.
Lester, you opened this case against Mr. Lewis because you say he denies fathering your 21-month-old son, Raiden.
Yes, Your Honor.
Only because you won't have sex with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you want Mr. Lewis to step up after today's results prove that he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Things quickly spiraled in court as Mr. Lewis lost his cool and started throwing around insults. Judge Lake wasn't having it, reminding him that the courtroom isn't his backyard and demanding respect.
Jatoya is a hoe.
Did I just say use respectful language in the court?
I'm sorry, but that's just what it is.
No. It's not what it's gonna be in this courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you look crazy because you're the one sleeping with her anyway, so you're not making a point.
Thank you.
You're only making yourself look dumber.
Despite once begging his girlfriend to have a child with him, Mr. Lewis was now desperate to deny the baby. But skipping protection and then running from responsibility? That's a tough look, sir.
A baby with her while y'all were having sex, Mr. Lewis?
Never said that we was gonna have a baby. Not the first night that we reconnect when we have sex.
But did you ever say it?
At the heat of the moment.
Right.
Guys say anything having sex, Your Honor. Anything.
Note to self. But if you were already having sex, why do you need to say that?
Turns out, both partners had been unfaithful at some point, and their toxic back and forth was costing an innocent child stability. This wasn't love. This was chaos, and the kid was caught in the middle.
I never thought.
Yes, you did, because you kept saying you ain't pregnant, you ain't pregnant. Yes, you did. Correction. Yes, you did.
No,
and then the day I had my son, I did not call him because he knew the day that I was having my son because I had to get a cesarean operation.
She's lying.
I didn't contact you.
You didn't contact me.
Okay, so what am I lying about?
You didn't tell me when you was having the baby.
Yes, I did.
No,
yes, I did.
Not.
But wait, there's more. Mr. Lewis revealed that due to an accident, could no longer have children. On top of that, Miss Lester had been engaged to another man for nearly a decade while claiming Mr. Lewis was the father.
I've been shot multiple times to where the doctors have pumped so much medicine in my body, and they told me that I couldn't have kids at all.
And since that time, you haven't fathered any other children.
No.
And that's why you feel Raiden is not your biological child.
First of all, Yana, he doesn't even look like me.
At this point, the truth was buried under layers of lies and drama. No one knew who to believe, but thankfully, Judge Lake was ready to cut through the noise and reveal the facts.
Mr. Lewis, you are not the father.
In this cheating-fueled drama, baby mama is suing baby daddy for half the child-rearing expenses. Meanwhile, Mr. Lewis sticks to the classic tune, "The baby's not mine, I want nothing to do with it." And with that, the courtroom battle kicks off.
And this is a picture of Connor on the left, and this is a picture of Mr. Hafner's grandfather, which is your father,
Yes, Your Honor.
on the right. And you say you truly see a resemblance.
Yes, Your Honor. On a scale from 1 to 10, that's an 11, and you compare our two pictures, and that's maybe a 2.
Ms. Kelso, I have to say, it's very interesting as I listen to this family testify, this young man.
Enter another twist. Second man in the picture. Miss Kilo firmly believes Mr. Davis is the father, pointing to the emotional bond he shares with the child. But we all know, feelings don't always match DNA.
Child loves your child, and yet you're suing Mr. Davis.
I want to know who my son's father is. It's just sad that these people who have cared so much that they don't know the truth, and we're here to find out the truth because my son deserves to have a father in his life, regardless of the financial expenses. He deserves to have somebody who will play with him.
Mr. Hafner, the other potential dad, wasn't backing down either. He came fully prepared with photos and testimony, convinced that baby Connor looked just like him. But let's be honest, looks can be misleading in this courtroom.
Look at these pictures, Ms. Kelso. Do you see more of a resemblance between your child and one of these men?
His nose looks like Jamal's. His eyes look like mine. His lips look like Richard. His hair looks like Jamal's. I just can't tell. They're so similar in different ways.
You are truly confused.
I am.
I can see it on your face.
I'm just absolutely confused.
Next up, the conception calendar took center stage. It revealed Miss Kilo was involved with both men during the same time frame. Her testimony leaned heavily on emotion, but timelines don't lie, and neither does science.
Be Richard, but I'm almost certain that it's Mr. Davis's.
Well, I wish it was a matter of preference. Are you ready for the results?
Absolutely.
I cannot rule on your lawsuit until we know if, in fact, Mr. Davis is your child's biological father, because you understand that if he is not, he has no legal obligation to financially support.
With all the infidelity and confusion out in the open, there wasn't much left to say. The emotional roller coaster had reached its final stop, and it was finally time to open that envelope and reveal the truth.
Mr. Hafner, you are not the father. Mr. Davis, you are the father.
While I was pregnant.
Take care of my other two, and I'm gonna take care of my third.
Mr. Smith doesn't believe he's the father of his ex-girlfriend's 3-year-old son. Why? Because, according to him, Miss Jones wasn't exactly the picture of loyalty. He firmly believes there's no chance the child is his.
Mr. Smith, you are here contesting paternity of your ex-girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter, Janiyah. You claim Miss Jones is sex crazed and had intercourse with multiple men during the time of conception. And you intend to prove you are not her child's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jones, you say Mr. Smith is nothing but a deadbeat who will grasp onto any excuse to get out of being a daddy to your daughter. You say today's paternity test results will prove that he is her father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right out of the gate, Mr. Smith drops bombshells. He claims Miss Jones is both a sex addict and a compulsive liar. Those are heavy accusations, and after hearing his testimony, the courtroom was left in shock.
Yes, Your Honor. She is a sex addict and a compulsive liar.
When I first met Janisha, we had sex on the first night. I took her virginity. A few hours later, she had sex with another man.
Oh!
So I could tell you multiple reasons why I believe I am not the father of her child.
According to Mr. Smith, Miss Jones wasted no time moving on. He says she slept with another man the same day he took her virginity. If true, it's no wonder he has doubts about paternity.
These are some very strong allegations about your sexual practices.
Yes.
Do you agree?
No. The only compulsive liar is him. Yes, I am a sex addict, but only with the person I am in a relationship with, what was him at the time.
What was your relationship like?
We were best friends at first, and then we started having sex.
Wait, hold on. We became best friends the day we had sex.
What?
Miss Jones admits to being a sex addict, but only within relationships, she says. She fires back, accusing Mr. Smith of being the real liar. With so many fingers pointing, it's hard to know who's telling the truth.
We met at a party, went home with her, had sex with her. Then after that, we hooked up a couple more times. We was friends with benefits.
Oh, so you're saying the sex happened immediately?
Yes.
Oh, so you met at a party, had sex that night?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's not best friends, that's a booty call.
Judge Lake didn't sugarcoat her thoughts. The couple says they began as best friends, but from the outside, it looked more like a casual fling. And as we've seen time and again, those don't usually end well.
So how did you even find out, or how do you know that Miss Jones was with other men?
She had a boyfriend while we was best friends. And we know that because me and her talked about these things. And then I really know she was having sex with this individual.
Your Honor,
because we was having sex one night and she wanted me to do a freaky thing with her that he was doing to her that I committed not to do.
Oh, so she admitted that she was having sex with somebody else because she wanted you to do what he did?
Yes, Your Honor.
Things got juicier when Mr. Smith revealed Miss Jones had a boyfriend when they first got involved. He'd even talk about the boyfriend while with him. Mr. Smith also claimed her desires were too wild for him to keep up with.
So you didn't have a boyfriend when you met him?
No.
Were you having sex with anybody else?
Yes.
Oh, you were?
This around the same time of conception.
No, Your Honor.
It's around the same time.
So boyfriend or no boyfriend, I mean, sex is what makes babies. So if you were having sex with somebody else during the window of time you were having sex with Mr. Smith, how do you rule the other guy out?
I was having sex with this man in July. I got into a relationship with him in August, and I got pregnant at the end of August.
Miss Jones denied having a boyfriend at that time, but admitted to seeing someone else. She insisted that the other guy wasn't in the picture during her conception window. This one's turning into a serious back and forth.
One day I went to go see Janisha at a motel room where she was there with multiple friends. I came up there. She wanted to go with me, but I had other ventures to go on to.
Ventures?
Yeah. So I called her later that night. It was a lonely night. I called her. I was like, do you want to lay up? She didn't answer the phone, though.
He was blowing me up, Your Honor.
A couple of days later, this all around time of conception. A couple of weeks later, she admitted to having getting oral sex from this guy. This not the boyfriend, this a whole different guy. A couple of weeks after the oral sex came up, she was like, well, he tried to start sex with me. I stopped it. A couple of weeks after that, she admitted to having sex with this guy.
And so you're saying she has admitted that she actually had sex with a third guy. Not you, not the boyfriend she was with when you met her, but another guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then came the shocker. Mr. Smith said she was sleeping with 3 guys around the time she conceived. Miss Jones didn't deny it, but claimed the third guy wasn't involved during that critical time.
The thing about this motel guy is a collage came out.
A collage?
Yes, with me, the baby, and this guy from the motel.
And you submitted that to the court? This
Yes,
collage. How did you find this collage?
This collage was in a group chat with her and her friend, her best friend. So when it came to me, her best friend admitted to me like, oh, no, I didn't make that. Janisha made it. So my first thing is like, Janisha did make it because Janisha is a strong-minded person. I'm knowing Janisha. Janisha would have seen that she would have snapped like, oh, I know who my baby daddy is. Why would you make this? None of that happened.
Which I did.
So she had concerns.
Oh, so you're saying Miss Jones made this collage because she was trying to get a public poll.
Things took a twist when Mr. Smith presented a collage of himself, the baby, and the so-called motel guy. He believed Miss Jones posted it online to crowdsource guesses on who the father might be. Talk about messy.
When the baby come, we at the hospital, her family members come up there and her friends come up there. So while we up there, this motel guy have a baby a day later. So they across the room with his baby.
What?
So her family members make a comment like, let's go to this other room and see this baby, see do they babies look alike.
Drama hit peak levels when motel guy ended up having a baby with another woman in the delivery room right across from Miss Jones. Her family even went to compare the two babies' looks. Chaos, anyone?
One day I go over to her family house. This is like Christmas time. I'm taking presents over. So we sitting in the dining room. A kid come in the room, because I say something to the child. I say something to Janaisha baby. A little kid come in there like, she's not even yours.
What?
Me.
A little kid?
Yes. So a little kid not gonna just say this out of nowhere. She heard that from a grown-up. A grown-up that's around.
She wasn't saying it like that. She was saying like, you're not around. Like, you can't come in here and just say something to my child, and she barely sees.
Wait, but I mean, look, a little kid does not have the gumption to come up to a grown man and say,
Yes,
you not even the dad. What did she say to you exactly?
You ain't not even her father.
And just when you thought it couldn't get wilder, a child from Miss Jones' family bluntly told Mr. Smith, "You're not the father." With all the drama, it was time to stop guessing. Was Mr. Smith the dad, or did motel guy have two babies at once?
Mr. Smith, you are the father. You are the father. That is your beautiful little girl.
Thank you, Your Honor.
How does that feel to hear?
It felt good.
I kept telling you.
It felt good because I could start a relationship with her and my other kids.
I see the tears in your eyes because I know it mattered to you.
This is one of the wildest paternity court cases yet. Miss Geiler gave birth to twins, but didn't know who the father was. Let's dive in and try to make sense of this chaos.
Glenster, you have opened your case today because you say your life has been in turmoil since the moment you learned you were pregnant with twins. You are convinced your husband fathered your 8-month-old son, Richard, but you also believe your boyfriend, Mr. Stacy, fathered your son's twin sister, Raylan. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Remy, Miss Geiler's husband, doesn't believe he's the father of either twin. Meanwhile, Mr. Stacy, her boyfriend, thinks he's the father of both. Yes, she had both a husband and a boyfriend at the same time.
How did we get into this confusion with conception?
December 15th, John, Keisha, Scotty, and I was at the house, and Scotty and John were working on the bathroom to get it fixed up.
So your boyfriend and your husband were working on the bathroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And after they had gotten the floor put down, Scotty went into our room, was playing his games in our room. Keisha was in the living room, watched TV, I guess. And John said, "Come look at the bathroom." He said, "We got to talk about the kids." Closed the door, and then one thing led to another, and we had sex.
Turns out, Miss Geiler cheated on her boyfriend with her husband. To make things worse, both Mr. Stacy and Mr. Remy's wife were in the same house when it happened. This is starting to sound like a reality show.
I guess he had to use the bathroom or whatever, because he went up to the bathroom and he had heard me and John together, and he said, "I can't do this," and he walked out. And when he walked out, we got finished. He left with Keisha.
So wait a minute, you got finished, you finished the act?
Yes, Your Honor. I was addicted to John.
Mr. Stacy, so you knock on the door, you there laying floor, and Mr. Ramey laying something else.
Things got even messier when Mr. Stacy walked in on Miss Geiler and her husband in the bathroom. Furious, he stormed out, but that didn't stop Miss Geiler and Mr. Remy from finishing what they started.
Ms. Glenster, when do you reconnect with Mr. Stacy?
After John and Keisha had left the house that night, went and picked him up from walking up the road, and brought him back to the house. And told him I was sorry and asked him to stay.
And then how soon after that do you start having sex with Mr. Stacy again?
It was that night.
Oh, right after you have sex with your husband, have sex with your boyfriend?
Not right after. I mean, it was that evening that it happened. But Scotty had left the next day, said he was going to his mom's, that he thought about it, he couldn't do it, and then I went and picked John up and brought him back to the house.
And have sex with him?
Yes.
After her husband left with his wife, Miss Schuyler drove around to find her upset boyfriend. She found him, apologized, and then slept with him too. Wait, the next morning, she called her husband over for round 2.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to be thrown under the bus with this.
I forgot about that yesterday.
I mean, I was with them together, and I just want answers from my children because they deserve to know, and John and Scotty deserve to know.
So I need to be clear. Did you state that you had a threesome with your husband and your boyfriend?
Yes, I did.
This love triangle officially broke the drama scale. Miss Schuyler admitted to threesomes with both men. Even the judge was speechless. At this point, no one could tell who the twins' father really was.
Why you believe your husband is Richard's father?
Richard has the same birthmark that my son Jonathan had. Richard looks like Jonathan when he was a baby, which Jonathan looks like John when he was a baby. So in turn, Richard looks like John when he was a baby.
Okay, so Mr. Ramey, I want to ask you, do you see the resemblance? Do you believe you could possibly be Richard's biological father?
Possibly, yes, but I do not think that I am. I just don't see the resemblance of myself in the babies when I see them. I don't.
And this is you holding both twins?
Yes, at their home.
Miss Schuyler thinks Mr. Remy is the father of one twin because they share a birthmark. But Mr. Remy says there's no resemblance at all. Courtroom photo of him holding the twins only made Mr. Stacy more uncomfortable.
If it was a perfect world and you could wave your magic wand and choose the life and the partner you wanted, who would you be with?
I'd be with John. I mean, you said in a perfect world, we wouldn't be here. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have been separated.
One thing was becoming clear. Miss Schuyler still loves her husband more than her boyfriend. That's a huge problem, especially since she and Mr. Remy are separated and she's now in a relationship with Mr. Stacy.
Do you think your relationship with your new girlfriend can survive if one or both of the twins are yours?
I really don't know, but that's not my main concern. It's about the babies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, hopefully it does. I mean, because I love her very much. But at the same time, they're innocent, and if I am their dad, I've got to be there and handle that.
See, when he said, I love her very much, you closed your eyes and just nodded your head like you didn't want to hear that.
I don't like the girl.
To make matters worse, Miss Schuyler can't stand her husband's new girlfriend, Kesha. But was it Kesha she hated, or the fact that she replaced her? Tension was thick as Kesha took the stand.
You believe your boyfriend is the father of one or both of these twins?
No, 100% no, I do not believe that these kids are his.
You weren't in there when that happened, Keisha. I mean, how are you going to say no, it's not?
Because they do not resemble Sammy. They do not resemble my John at all.
Miss Atkins, do you believe Mr. Stacy is the father of one or both of the twins?
No, I do not.
Oh,
really?
Yes, really.
So you're saying you don't believe either man's the father?
No.
And Kesha said neither of the twins looked like Mr. Remy. She even claimed Mr. Stacy wasn't their father either. When she dropped that bombshell, the whole courtroom went silent. Jaws hit the floor.
And I'm sorry, regardless what this stuff says.
No matter what it says, Sammy, you know, because we're not together, you know I'm always going to love you. You're the mom of my kids, and I'll always be here. But the main thing is, at least we'll know for the baby.
This result is for Raylan, and just to be clear, you believe Mr. Stacy, your boyfriend, is Raylan's biological father.
This case had more twists than a soap opera finale. Even Judge Lake looked baffled. But the guessing was finally over. DNA results were in, and no one could predict what was coming next.
Mr. Stacy. The next result is for Richard Ramey. It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Stacy.
Now tell me I was sleeping with somebody else.